showtime. Bam, we're live.
Got you 3 minutes.
Bam.
3 minutes of playtime.
Live.
Wait, whoa. Hold up that sock. What design is on that thing? Is that one of your I don't think it's goldfish.
Just baller shit, dude. Just some baller shit.
Just
I don't
some
know. Just got the
baller
Swedish
worn-out.
flag.
Damn.
A thin wool.
Let me
What
show you
brand is
something.
this? Danish.
This is how you know a man doesn't care about his well-being.
Ooh. Yeah. I own 12 homes in the Hamptons, but I got holes in my socks.
Exactly.
What's up, Souza? Oh,
That's really hard. That was too harder than it should have been to put my sock back on.
What's going on?
it's only my third show of the day.
Oh man, that's why he seems all serious. Blazered up.
What?
Where's Kate? I'm here to pimp tonight, playa. I'm here to pimp. I'm here to talk Kate up. Kate, let's go to the bar, girl.
Barbell jobs, baby.
Oh, no, I knew it was just me and you alone, Hobart, and I thought, you know what? I lit a candle behind me.
Actually, my wife asked me. She has a candle in her office. She said, "Do you want me to light it to set the mood?"
Wow. She obviously doesn't want to listen to the show. This is a wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
See you later.
Oh, bye, Souza. Souza hiding behind the scenes. Thanks for doing this, Maddie. Yes. I just came back from a job interview. That's why I'm wearing a collared shirt. I went to barbelljobs.com and at CrossFit Go Fuck Yourself, I applied to clean the bathrooms, and I just wanted to let them know that I take my job seriously. Barbelljobs.com. I hope you don't need that website, Hobart, after the show today.
I'm sure we'll find out. Oh man.
I was talking to a friend of mine. And I'm like, hey, aren't you glad that I bounced back so strong from getting fired from CrossFit? Like as being your friend, like, weren't you scared for me a little bit? And he goes, dude, I go, what? He goes, you have not bounced back. Like, oh.
You're doing weekly shows with James Hobart.
All righty.
You are literally what we call slumming it.
I am still the CEO of CrossFit Inc. Yes, I identify with, look at Hobart shaking his head. I identify with, it is my woke component. Guys, are you guys going to watch the UFC?
Get that out of there.
Are you guys going to watch the UFC fights this weekend?
Should I?
Oh man, this guy Colby. I mean, there's so many great fights, but there's a guy, Colby Covington, who is fighting the champ Kamaru Usman, and a lot of people don't like both of them, which is interesting. I think a lot of people don't like Kamaru Usman because he seems a little square, and a lot of people don't like Colby Covington because he's brash and he's like a Trump supporter and he's just out there. But the thing is that I really like Colby Covington. I like both of them, but I really like Colby Covington because when I see him, I see the big picture. You know, when people say, hey, I want to do CrossFit, and it's a girl and they're like, but I don't want to get bulky.
Yes.
And the first thing that always pops into my mind is like, it's like saying, I don't want to get a job because I don't want to get rich. Look, motherfucker, you are not going to get rich at 7-Eleven. That is the dumbest excuse I've ever heard. And like, I feel like going, yo, bitch, you don't have the discipline to get buff. You don't have the work ethic to get buff. You're worried about getting buff by doing CrossFit. How about being worried about your type 2 diabetes? Let's go, Brandon. So I feel that way about Colby Covington. I feel like a lot of people don't like him because they don't like his antics, but the balls, you got to go big picture. The balls this guy has to just tell it like it is. I'm so over politically correct. I'm so over feigning kindness. But I mean, it is important. My wife says I betray myself by being so brash, by calling people morons, and I betray my kindness because I really am a nice person. Excuse me.
I think you're a nice person.
I didn't like the way that you said that. I don't care what people say about you, Hobart. I think you're attractive. I think you're attractive in your own way, Hobart.
I'll take that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
No. I was. It sounded like my mind was elsewhere because I was trying to think about.
No, it didn't sound like your mind was elsewhere. It sounded like you were the cow stepping out in the field and all alone, away from the pack, and being like, he's actually okay.
I have
like,
a great story
something.
about cows tonight.
You do?
Yeah. No, someone just put in the comments this one thing about school board recalls in Wisconsin, and I had not seen this story yet, so I just jumped on Wisconsin Public Radio News. Yep, right there. And it says, Wisconsin recall efforts to add pressure on school boards in wake of COVID-19. Wisconsin has the second most school board recall efforts in the country after California. I'll dive into that. Okay.
Look at Sousa's either finishing. He looks so like he's either finishing up some porn that he started before the show started, or he's like looking for that article. Mequon.
Here, Suze, I'll send it to you.
Mequon, Wisconsin.
I'll text it to you right now. Oof, that's a lot.
I saw a quote on Ian Gary's Instagram. It's a UFC fighter, and it said something along the lines of, "If you." Man, I'm gonna ruin it. I should look in my notes. I'm gonna look in my notes. I had Emily Abbott on this morning.
How's she doing?
She's cool as shit. I don't know how she's doing, but when I'm around her, I'm happy as a clam. She's so cool. She's just more women's empowerment. Before it was like being a role model as a strong, fit, healthy woman. And now she's talking to women about teaching them how to do energy body, basically how to take your awareness and put it inward, and with a specific focus on the pussy. Her words, not mine. Yeah.
Are there any guys out there doing stuff like that?
I do it 3 times a day.
Those are rookie numbers, man.
When I wake up, I do it in the middle of the day. And how about this guy's name? This fighter I'm interviewing on Thursday. His name is Ian the Future Gary, and I heard him being interviewed, and they're like, "Why is that your nickname, the Future?" And he said, "Because my champ, it's inevitable. It's inevitable that I'll be a champion." He's so cool. Damn, where is this quote? He says when he fights, he's in a flow state. If you can't stand to slow me down, what do you say to that? Kicked out of a gym right before. Oh, shit, I can't find it. But basically, it was something along the line that if you know something, if you know that to do the right thing is A or B or whatever, and you don't do it, it's worse than cowardice. And I feel like I feel like that's where we're at. Like, hey, people, don't be cowards. You know what the right thing to do is. You know what the right thing to do is. Will you guys go over the Kaepernick documentary? Oh shit!
Did you watch it?
No. Is it paint him in a good light?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I didn't even know there was one. It's so funny because you look at someone like Kyrie, and like that motherfucker stood up for something. And you look at Kaepernick, and he didn't stand up for anything. He climbed his way up to the top of the mountain and then whined like a bitch instead of being a role model. The only thing we can do for other people is be role models. Do you guys understand that? I'm going to tell you guys a story. Okay, you ready for this? There's a guy. There's these 2 roommates. Okay, James and Sevan. And James has a cigar habit, and he smokes a shitload of cigars. And Sevan wants him to smoke the cigars outside. So Sevan says to James, "Hey, James, can you please smoke the cigars outside?" And James says, "Sure, no problem. Make sure to smoke them outside." So Sevan comes home, and James, the house is filled with smoke. And he goes, "James, please don't smoke cigars in the house." And James goes, "Oh, sorry, you weren't home." And he goes, "No, just never do it." So James says, "Okay, I'm sorry." So Sevan comes home, and the house still smells like cigars the next day. So he goes into James's cigar like box, and he takes one of his cigars out and he wipes it on his ass. And the thought is that when James smokes the cigar, he won't like the taste of it, and it'll get him to quit, because Sevan's a thoughtful guy and he's trying to help his buddy James out quit. So James lights up the cigar, and he doesn't say anything to Sevan, but he's like, this tastes a little funny. And he puts out the cigar after just smoking 3/4 of it. And Sevan notices the house is less smoky. So he continues this for like the next 2 weeks, every day going into James's cigar box and wiping a little bit, like taking the cigar and like rubbing it on his anus sphincter. Okay. And every day James is smoking less and less because he does not like the taste of these anal wipe cigars, but he doesn't know what's going on. But Sevan's feeling a little bit of success. So finally, Sevan's like, man, I almost got him. So he takes a cigar. On the last day, he goes into James's cigar box and he takes a cigar and he shoves it actually inside of his anus, and he's just fucking getting it all in there. James comes home, lights up the cigar, and he goes, "Fuck, why do I do this? This is so gross. Why do I smoke?" And he quit smoking cigars.
Bam. Thanks,
Done.
man. Appreciate it.
And James was done with his habit. The next day, Sevan comes home and he feels a little empty, like something's missing in his life. So he goes to the store and he buys his box of cigars and he shoves one up his ass. Do you guys get the moral of the story? James lost a habit. Sevan picked up a habit. If you are, you don't get it, James. Nothing.
No, I got it. I got it. I'm just thinking. Okay. I'm thinking a couple things. I want to hear the moral of your story, and then I want to know: have you used that allegory before? Because you thought of it like it was pretty on the spot.
Yeah, I've used it before. I read it in a joke book when I was 12.
It's a good joke.
Don't ever ask me shit like that again, James, because just let people think that I come up with that shit on my own. They don't realize I'm just studying old Rodney Dangerfield transcripts from years ago.
I get no respect.
The thing is that so many people bitch and complain that they turn into bitches and complain. What got Kaepernick to the top was not fucking bitching. What got him to the top was 100% hard work. And then these fuckers get to the top and they bitch. And then the rest of society thinks that you can get to the top by bitching. No bitches get to the top. They turn into them when they're there. And they make you think it's okay and they trick you. But no one gets there. Oprah didn't get there like that. LeBron didn't get there like that. Like no one, Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. Like everyone was working hard.
Just fucking slid that in there. Oh man! But then, how do you use that platform to do more good?
And there's no judgment there either. You just keep telling people what to do. No, you tell people what to do to get to the top, not to complain about their situation. You know what? It was explained to me the other day. So I was raised thinking that Democrats were for helping the poor and Republicans were for helping the rich. There was one, and now I'm older and I actually, they fucked it all up. Republicans want everyone to be rich. Democrats want everyone to be poor. It's crazy. It's so ass backwards the way they explain it to you. After accounting for taxes, spending, and investment returns, Forbes estimates James' net worth to be about $850 million. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with George Floyd. They're under no circumstances. There's nothing that could have ever been done to him where he should have been an American hero, where he should have been a hero for civil rights, where he should have been where there should be a statue in New York about him. There's nothing. There's no redemption there. He didn't redeem himself. He didn't turn himself around. Look at Malcolm X. Went to fucking jail. Opened up a dictionary, copied every single fucking word in that dictionary, wrote it down on a piece of paper, and learned every word in the dictionary. Came out of there being a fucking magician. It's a great book, by the way. Have you ever read that one?
I've not.
By Alex Haley. Whew. That's an American hero. George Floyd. Sorry. You're a good dude, Hobart, for listening to me rant when you're trying to help America. How was your L1 this weekend? How was your L1? I hope you better say it was the greatest thing ever because I missed you on Sunday.
It was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah,
we
did
some
stories.
We did a CrossFit Level 1 course at the Phoenix Community Center in Boston. It's a nonprofit for recovering addicts and alcoholics. It's a recovery center where they use the founder, Scott Strode, they use physical activity, rock climbing, sports to build a community to help build purpose through that recovery journey. And all you need is 48 hours of sobriety to show up and participate. It's probably the nicest CrossFit gym I've ever been in. It's up there if it's not the nicest, and the facility's free and open to anyone as long as they have 48 hours of sobriety. But we did a level 1 this weekend.
Wait. I thought it was 24. Did they change that?
I don't know if it was 24, but it's 48. Yeah, it's 2 days, I believe. I could check.
Unless I heard it right. Unless I heard it right and you heard it wrong.
I don't want to be wrong on that, but
some crackhead's gonna go in there after 36 hours and be like, "But Hobart told me."
But it was really nice. We had a mix of, there were a lot of nonprofits that came in and took the seminar, which was really cool, and just regular seminar attendees. It was a smaller group, about 30 people, and myself, Larry Thomas, who's the Northeast affiliate rep, owns 2 affiliates in the Boston area, and Megan Burns has been on staff for a while now. So she's also the partnership coordinator. Actually, Megan just texted me. I guess she's listening. She says, "Nice Phoenix shout out." I don't think it was ever 24 hours.
What? What, Megan?
Actually, and then she recently got married. Her last name's Bakhtiari, but yeah, 48 hours. So
was she a client there? What do you mean? How does she know? Stop clicking shit.
I'm just trying to just check this 48 hours thing. Don't get all fired up just because you're wearing a vest, man.
Get all bossy and look at my glasses.
Yeah, you look serious.
This shit is refurbished, like silver, and like this is like, these were like some dead guy used to wear these.
No, so Megan's been on seminar staff for, I think, coming up in 10 years now, and she worked with the Phoenix and coached there, and was the head of their coaching development for their CrossFit program when she lived up in Boston.
Oh shit.
And then when she moved out to California with her now husband, she took over a role, and I believe the role she handles now is the head of their partnerships. So, for example, they have a partnership with CrossFit.
Okay, don't rub it in. She wins. All right.
Okay, there you go.
Fuck. God damn it. Oops, sorry. I apologize. I want to strike that from the record. I'm not saying that word anymore.
What word?
I'll say chicks. Chicks. The Goddamnit. And I'm not saying the Jesus one either.
Why is that?
I look like Aladdin. It was so I was getting some really thoughtful
Me too, Hector. Me too.
I was getting some really thoughtful DMs about, "Hey, Sevan, I really like you, but can you stop using those 2 phrases?" And I don't like to alienate people, and I also like the challenge of the discipline. Like, I don't need to say those things, and like I don't want to be rude and to their imaginary God. I want to be nice to it.
I was waiting for something. Oh, you saying, I was like, this is being too nice. So you don't want to alienate people, but you take very specific stances on topics, and that is inherently alienating, right? So shouldn't you just say things that makes everyone happy? Like, that's what I'm getting at here.
This one's just I like this one for the discipline. I don't need to say that. I like a little bit of a challenge. It forces me to be to stay conscious. It's the same reason why I do energy body. It's the same way I do inward work. It's like, watch the words as they come out, you jackass. That's the least you can do. I use the word retard a lot, but that's one of the words that, like, I feel the social pressure not to use on the show, because that one offends people too, even though it's like not even a bad word. It's because what's crazy is the reason why it offends people. Like, I would be like, "Man, that was retarded," and people are like, "Well, I have a disabled son." Well, okay, well then you have a retarded son. I mean, it's not like I don't know what to like, or you know what I mean? How is that offensive? That it sucks that he's disabled. By the way, I made an amazing movie on YouTube. That's what's so cool about me. I can watch this one, Hobart. Watch this. I made an amazing movie, and it's on YouTube, and it's called Our House. And I lived in a home. I lived on the driveway of a home for mentally disabled adults who I took care of for 5 years. Talk about me and my wife did, and talk about, man, what a journey that was. That was amazing. I thought I would go there and be able to do God's work. Instead, I got destroyed.
What'd you get destroyed by?
It's hard. It's emotionally, it's a really, really tough thing. These people are mentally disabled. They know they're disabled. And it's so painful, right? I mean, that is the 2 worst. I've seen famine in my life on several occasions, and I've seen mental disabilities. And when you see things like that, look, yeah, there's my movie. When you see things like that, it changes everything. Wow, good find, Sousa. There's the movie. That movie won awards at 30 film festivals, by the way. That shit was raw.
Does it change things because it creates an overwhelming pessimism? Is it a glimmer of hope and there's still
Yeah,
survive? Is it
personal accountability. It all comes down to personal, like, and not waste your life. It's like this guy. I watched a documentary on Caleb Plant the other day. He's about to fight Canelo Alvarez, and his daughter died when she was like 18 months old, and like he basically talks to her every day and says, "I'm going to win the championship." I'm not like, and it's been years, you know, since she passed away, and it's just like, hey, take your, like, this is real. This isn't that stupid shit like those, like gender. Like, this is real. Your baby died. This is real. Kids starving in Africa. This isn't like, well, fuck off about your gender. No one should know what their gender is. Nobody. Look down in your pants. You either have a penis or a vagina and roll with it. No one cares about anything else. Nothing. Nobody cares. And if you're worried about your gender, then you need to starve yourself a little bit, or do 1,000 burpees, or have someone fucking murdered close to you to fucking unfuck you. Get a little dose of reality of what really matters. Put your head down and work. Peace and love. I don't know what gender I am. Do you know what gender you are, Hobart?
No. I actually, this is.
Do you ever even think about it? Do you ever even think you do?
No. But this is a subject I've listened, tried to do more research on and understand better, just because of how prevalent it is right now. And I did hear this one discussion, and someone was saying, like, in the terms of looking at gender as a scale, or not a scale, what's the word? A range, that, like, if you're not the most, perfect's the wrong word, but if you're not the most expressed example, like if you're not the most macho, the most alpha, I hate that term, but whatever, fill in the blank, then, if you're anything less than that, then you are some mix of male, female gender. And then vice versa. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's all nonsense. Like, do you know in the MMA scene, they started painting their toenails like 10 years ago. What does that make them? I mean, there's 1,000 examples of like that. That's why it's just such nonsense. Why does anyone care? The only reason why I've ever cared about what anyone's sex is whether I should be like trying to fuck them or not. So like, you see someone and you're not sure if they're a man or a woman. It's like, well, and like now it doesn't matter because I'm not trying to fuck nobody. I know it's anybody. I just like saying nobody because I think it sounds gangsta. Okay. The news.
I don't know. There's a lot there. I can't speak on it intelligently, but I don't know how we treat each other.
I feel very fortunate that it's not an issue of mine.
Yeah,
I feel very fortunate that that my issues are like, oh my God, I hope my toilet doesn't overflow.
Yeah, what am I going to
I don't want to run out of toothpaste. I hope my assault bike doesn't stop working. I hope Kate shows up for the fucking podcast.
I do think there's a bigger question there of how do we treat each other better, and I'm not trying to do all kumbaya stuff, but
no, I like kumbaya.
I just have felt that I don't think legislation is the way to teach people to treat each other better, but I don't know, maybe it is.
Let's say you're struggling with whether I don't know what the deepest root or origin of gender is, but I'm damn bet it's this deepest thing for all of us. It comes down to just mating and procreating. So let's say you're confused whether you like boys or girls, because what it comes down to is what the opposite of what you want, right? To be intimate with, what you want to procreate with. I'm sorry if it's confusing for you, or I'm sorry if you can't fake it till you make it, or I'm sorry like that would be a tough one to deal with. But don't project onto the rest of us like that we need to do anything to go out of our way to make your life easier. Everyone has their own problems, and famine is like, you have in the presence of famine, gender issue is the most selfish luxury in the world. In the presence of the death of a child, gender issues are the most selfish thing in the world. And it's like, so I live on a different planet than those people. To me, those people are the most selfish people on the planet because that's where I live. Seen famine, lived with tons of mentally disabled adults for years. And when I mean live with them, like I slept in the same quarters as these dudes. And you get to go to Great America with your red hair and smoke cigarettes and pretend like the word gender is real. No, you got a penis or a vagina. And then everything else is just fun, imaginary shit, and play with it. And I know it can be difficult when you're young but you'll get through it. Don't drag the rest of the world in your shit. We all had problems when we were 18. I used to think my nose was big. Now I know it's just a fun place for girls to sit. Okay, Hobart, let's talk about the news, buddy.
Oh man, I was gonna add something onto that, but all right, let's do it. All right, big story here.
Guys, we don't have Kate. You need a hug. Who needs a hug?
I need
Preach,
a hug.
Sevan. Thank you. So I saw the Mayhem Desert was postponed too. I love this word postponed.
Not postponed, it's canceled.
Yeah, I know. That breaks my heart a little bit. I'm on the Mayhem jock right now, big time.
I can tell.
The Mayhem Empire.
I was going to say something cutting, but I'm going to skip it.
No, do it. It's probably true. Kissing ass to get rich on for a third time. Yes. Guilty.
I don't know if you're ready to have Rory as your boss, but.
Oh, whoa.
All right, see, that's why.
Rory, come boss me.
Edit that shit out.
Got some leather straps back here. Rory, come on over, baby. He's a good dude doing good things for good people. I just can't believe you'd move from California to Cookeville. Speaking of going from fucking feast to famine. Look, it's like Mr. Rogers. I put my socks on to start the show, but now we're about to get to dig into the news and it's business. I took my socks off. 26 minutes in. Who wants to hear the news?
Let's do David's daughter leaves comp train.
Oh, yes.
We can start and end on this story. This is the biggest news. This is the biggest news in CrossFit.
There's my armpit fetish being taken care of. Thank you.
She's so fit. The
two-time games champion. You can see her naked if you want to go to ESPN.com and look at their naked issue.
What was the weight of their sandbag? Do they have a 200-pound sandbag?
I would love to talk to you about that too, by the way. The dudes lifted 250.
Like, they didn't lift it. They picked it up off the ground easily. I would even watching Guy lift. Like, I would have to lift that. I would have to like struggle to get my hands under it and get it to my lap. And he picked that thing up like it was a set of keys.
What is the heaviest odd object you picked up?
I picked up a 200-pound sandbag. It's the heaviest sandbag I shouldered. Yeah.
Have you picked up a 200-pound D-ball?
No.
Damn.
No, that was amazing.
I don't know much about the Catron thing, but this is what I think happened.
165. But still, even just watching how...
No, that's the chicks. That's the chicks.
But I'm saying watching how easily they lifted it. Like, Tia's
why is chicks derogatory? Chicks isn't derogatory unless you hate birds, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about 165? Sorry.
It's just watching the women lift that. It was too easy. Too easy.
Yeah, there's no appreciation on my part at some point times for that. Do you know what I mean? Like you're just watching and you're like the same with the jerry cans. Like I know, and by the way, what a joke to call those jerry cans, but it's just hard. It's just hard and you forget to appreciate it. Oh, scroll through her Instagram real quick. Let me see. Oh, does she say about quitting CompTrain? Is there a post about it?
There was something. There's the articles in the Morning Chalk Up. So
okay. Man, how about Annie? Keep scrolling.
Same thing. Like,
look at that picture of her with her hat on.
I don't think everybody realizes just how amazing those performances are.
Wow, she looks like a supermodel there. Okay, go back. Let's peruse. Let's troll her shit.
I want to hire her photographer.
Keep going. That's a nice bathing suit. Keep going.
Oh, look at that fish. That's cool.
What fish?
There's a fish that she caught up there. She was wearing waders. Little salmon.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's familial as a mofo. Man, she's all about the love of her grandparent. Yeah, she's a good dude like that. That's her. I think that's her. Oh, so this is my theory. I think that there's no truth to this, people. This is my theory. She
be nice.
Okay. Well, I think she broke up with. Oh my goodness! Look. Well, let's go back one more time. Let me see one more. That's a great picture of her and her dude too. Well, I can't remember that dude's name. Gaffer. He was a hockey player. Look at the one in the corner where she's sipping that drink. Yeah. She's pretty hot right there. I think that her and her boyfriend broke up and she misses home. Something basically I heard she's going back to Iceland and she's training with Annie. So I think like something I think it's just something like emotional. I think it's like really and she needs to go back to her roots, to the motherland.
Well, I don't want to speculate, but I mean, I
That's
think
because you're a good dude.
she has lived on and off in the U.S. for a long time, and being away from home with people you're that close with is tough. But the 2-time games champ, Katrin, has moved over from Comp Train and will be competing under coach Jami Tikkanen, who also coaches fellow Icelanders Annie Thorsdottir and BKG, as well as Heinrich Happalainen. Multiple sources have confirmed that she did not compete this weekend under the guidance and coaching of Bergeron, her coach across 7 CrossFit Games. The change in coach comes after her worst finish at the CrossFit Games 10th, since she failed to qualify in 2014.
Bergeron's also the former coach of Matt Fraser. He was Matt's coach when Matt won his first CrossFit Games, I do believe.
Yeah, I don't know. The chalk up one kind of made this seem like it was like a huge blow to Comp Train, but I think she's worked with Ben for a really long time and they've had a lot of success together as coach athlete pair. And
how would it be a blow to Ben? He's so fucking successful.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing.
Maybe just because it's going to be harder for them to continue to grow, as opposed to this is almost a decline of Comp Train as the larger athletes leave.
Yeah, but just inevitable.
This is what I was saying to you guys.
Right, Sousa?
Via text, we were talking about this, though, Sousa, was just the whole idea of, I think there's a huge new wave, new athletes, new generation coming up.
Yep.
And you're going to see a lot of turnover, and it takes time for some of those new names to get bigger. But everybody's going to be wearing a Mal O'Brien shirt pretty soon. So,
what do you think also too of
Emma
a lot of the newer coaches being actually retired athletes? Now you're seeing Fraser, you see Rich mentor a lot a
Bergeron was in the games.
Yeah, he was. Ben was in the games. They finished.
Yeah, when Mal O'Brien was born.
She wasn't born yet. She probably wasn't born.
I think it's inevitable that she leaves. That's comes with the territory of getting big name athletes. They come and they go. I don't think it's a big deal to Ben at all, other than it just changes hard. But I don't think this is indicative or says anything about him as a person or his training program.
And I think people in the community suffer it harder, right? Because they love that consistency. But I think it's super natural for athletes in a sport like this where you're only making a lifestyle off of this if you're at the tippity top. Like I think a lot of sports, like action sports, you see a lot of the best athletes or those top athletes, they move on to teach or coach or do like it's not like the NFL where you can just be like, oh, I did my, unless you're Fraser, where I could just retire. But
all three of these departures could prove to be a setback for Bergeron's plans to build up a Comp Train Academy. Click that Comp Train Academy link, Sousa. What?
I hope this goes to barbelljobs.com.
Me too. The Comp Train Academy. Why would athletes leaving affect his building of the academy? I don't get it.
If anything, I think it helps, right? You want if you're an aspiring athlete who wants to work with Ben, you want to catch him to leave because that creates a huge vacuum for space to fill. I'm not a diss toward anybody. I just mean that in a way of like, that's great.
And how about this? Now Ben probably has a chip on his shoulder because he wants to prove again. You know what I mean? He lights a fire in his ass that he wants to prove that he can do it again. He can build a champ again. That's the only reason why I do this podcast. To fucking take over the CrossFit place like a fucking bulldozer and crush you fuckers.
I was gonna say,
I didn't say that out loud.
Do you think there's a separation in the style of coaching? Like, is one coach play the role from like a budding seed up to when they mature to go to the games to do well versus the coach that has to keep somebody at the top? Do you think there's a difference in that coaching?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't articulate what that difference exactly is right now, but I definitely think there is a difference. I also think there's, I don't know, maybe you just want something new. I mean, there could be a million reasons she's going back home. So
I'll text Katrin right now and just ask her to jump on the show. I'll shoot her a link and we can just ask her what's up.
Do it. All right. Next story. I thought that was a good place to start because my next story is about our favorite topic, the super rich and taxes.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Senator Mitt Romney, Republican of Utah, told Fox News last week that Democrats are pretty desperate to pass President Joe Biden's spending bill, which has recently trimmed from 3.5 trillion to under 2 trillion. Now,
That's about how much my vest and shirt cost, by the way.
That's what I was thinking, looking at you. I can't wait till you get hit by this tax. Instead, so what Romney really focused on was how Biden's proposed tax on billionaires to help pay for trillions of dollars of spending would boost the demand for two specific asset classes, farms and fine art. So if you're looking to invest, don't invest in Squid Game Bitcoin. Go buy a farm or some fine art. This stat, if this is true, is equally horrifying and interesting. Bill Gates, the fourth richest person in the world with a net worth of whatever bazillion dollars, is the largest private farmland owner in the United States. That's terrifying. So maybe I will instead invest in a ranch. Or
I don't even know what that means. Private farmland owner. Just so you know,
the government doesn't own it. The government probably is the largest farmland owner in the U.S. I'm going to just out there my coverage and say that.
Okay, but what about like Monsanto? Like, is that a public land? Is that a privately owned land or no? Since they're a publicly traded company, or I'm guessing that they are. That's not like is.
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's look it up. Susa, how much farmland does Bill Gates own? Anyway, it's easy to see.
No. It's like what makes it public. Like the fact that Microsoft, it's because it's under all of Bill Gates's name. It's not under Microsoft.
Here we go.
Right. Someone has to be the thing is like,
well, there someone, you go. Maybe it's just the total acreage that he owns.
But someone has to be the largest farmland owner. That's another thing too. I'm not defending Bill Gates, by the way.
Who owns more farmland than Bill Gates?
He's a douche. But what I'm saying is like, that doesn't say anything on its own. That's just to rile people up. Like if I told you I have the biggest dick in the room and it's only 5 inches, like who gives a fuck? And that's what I mean. Like,
who are you in the room with?
Are there 100 people who own 200,000 acres? Like, and he just happens to have 268. Like,
well, I still think it's amazing. He's the largest farmland owner.
Okay, fine.
I'm not riled up, just interested.
I'm not riled up
easy
either.
To see
that's just how I talk.
It's easy to see the appeal.
I have a lot of feminine. I was on with Emily, the pretty redheaded girl, Emily Abbott today, and she was talking to me about pussy power and vulva power for an hour and 40 minutes. And then I've been taking care of my kids and haven't seen my wife since. So,
do you feel energized?
Oh my God. More so. Do you listen to Russell Brand? He has a video on this topic as well, as he is trying to screw over rural farmers with tech like cell phones. Okay, that's fair.
Is it that he's trying to screw them over, or is it just that people with a lot of money might have a better way of doing things, and then it just makes people with less resources really frustrated because they can't keep up with the better way of doing things? Is that crazy?
Yeah, but that is crazy. Rich people are. I hope you're just saying that just to fucking play the.
I'm just thinking.
Rich people are.
Just thinking out loud.
Sevan, do you have a garden? Dude, do I have a garden? I plant 100 fruit trees on my land. Hey, that's nice, Sousa. That list you pulled up.
Hey, if I can get my avocado tree that's at my mom's house to your house, will you plant it and keep it?
Dude, for sure. I'll put a little plaque under it too.
I gotta send you.
And when my dog dies, I'll plant it under it also.
I gotta send you a picture of it. It's amazing. It's just like, and she has to move it inside for the winter, but it's like over 6 feet tall now. It's out of control. She planted it before I was born. Anyway.
What did you send us? What did you send us just now?
I didn't send anything.
I just got a text from you. Oh no, that's old. Okay.
Yeah. Invest in farmland. It's intrinsically valuable and has little correlation with the ups and downs of the stock market. And even in a hyperinflationary environment, people still need to eat. Between 1992 and 2020, farmland returned an average of 11% per year. Over the same time frame, the S&P 500 returned only 8%. Similarly, fine art can also deliver. Contemporary artwork has already outperformed the S&P 500 by a commanding 174%. I don't know if they're evaluating all contemporary artwork. I don't know really what contemporary artwork is, but anyway, so don't take investing advice from this, please. Over the past 25 years, artwork has become increasingly popular way for investors to diversify because it's a real physical asset with very little correlation to the stock market, much like precious metals and real estate. In fact, the correlation factor between contemporary art and the S&P 500 was just 0.01 over the past 25 years. In other words, art zigs when stocks zag. I guess it's more stable. But then you have to find somebody to sell it to.
Think about what it means when art prices go up.
I don't know what it means.
Just that somebody has a shit ton of disposable income.
Yeah,
which is cool. I'm cool with that, and it's cool that it's yeah.
All right.
Let's wrap this up. I got to go get back to my studio to do some painting.
Do you pay?
No, I used to draw. Oh,
get us a drawing.
You want to see a drawing?
I'm going to invest. I'm going to buy it right now, so I don't have to pay as much taxes. I'm going to just buy your shitty art. Christine, I agree. Oh, Smart Wad Zombie. If it was, I hope it was really
so
old.
I
like
just pulled this out of its folder the other day, and it's just
my best shirtless pics.
Can you see that? It's got mold on it. I
drew
pulled
that?
it out of its folder, and it has just shit tons of mold on it.
You drew that?
It's a drawing I did with colored pencils.
I'd buy that. Let's auction that right now.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
You're impressed, right?
I'm very impressed. That was amazing. What was that inspired by?
Let me just show you. So see, you can't see it because there's mold. I need to blow it off of here. This got mold on it, but this is a hand.
Yeah, don't touch that, man.
That's supposed to be the hand of the viewer looking at the picture, holding a mirror, and that's the magnifying glass.
And that's you.
And that's the dude being held up, and that's the eyeball of the viewer. See how that kind of.
Gotcha.
No, you don't.
I don't understand what's going on there.
I know. Anyway, yes.
I don't have a single artistic bone.
I drew that 30 years ago.
Damn, I wasn't even born yet. All right. Higher inflation creates jobs. This was just an opinion piece, but if you really want to be bored, it was a decent read.
Yes, I drew that. I used to draw like a mofo. I used to just sit around and smoke. I got so many. I used to just sit around and smoke clove cigarettes and just draw crazy shit. I was homeless and I used to just draw shit. I knew all these hot chicks and I would go to their house when they were at school and I would just lay down in their living room on the floor and draw and smoke clove cigarettes. And then they'd come home and the house would be clean and they'd like tell me how cool and nice I was and other stuff.
Then they'd kick you out?
No. They kissed me.
Show me on the doll where. Show me on the painting. Inflation is always caused by too much money chasing too few goods. This is how too much money side looks currently. During mandated pandemic shutdowns, the U.S. government dropped money on anyone who could fog a mirror. I think this means that it gave out those stimulus checks. This happened while and because big parts of the economy that are normally large cost items in consumer budgets, travel, entertainment, restaurants, all got shut down. When your income doesn't change or arguably increases and your expenses decline, your savings grow. Pockets stuffed with cash resulted in healthy demand as the U.S. economy reopened. Consumer savings were also helped by the freeze on student loan payments and the eviction moratorium.
Wait, how does that help?
How does it help consumer savings?
Yeah, the student loan thing.
Because people didn't have to pay back they put a freeze on student loans, so you didn't have to pay back loans, so people were technically saving more money. I'd really be curious to see some stats.
I object to that logic.
If on average, what percentage of the U.S. people in the U.S. were actually able to save money through pandemic shutdowns? I'd be really curious to see that.
That is interesting. What
per
type
household?
Of cigarette? I smoked clove cigarettes and I smoked American Spirit. I smoked everything. I smoked anything.
You didn't roll your own?
I rolled a lot of my own. Yes, I rolled a shit ton of my own. This is interesting. Christine Forrester, let's talk about all the immigrants. Democrats bringing them in to do all the jobs Americans don't want to do and the Republicans pretending they object. That's an interesting thing. Why don't they just bring them in legally then? Why don't we just say, okay, we're going to do it and then just like I don't know I'm just making this up. I don't know what you need to do to immigrate someone, but like, why not open up Ellis Island, take them all through there again, change their last names, fingerprint them, take pictures of them, and let them out? Like why make it such a shit show at the border? If we need people, then let's do it. Why can't it just be like an honest conversation?
I think that is happening.
Well, no, man. I had this dude on the show already, just so you know, Jorge Ventura. He's been working the border. He's basically the country's #1 border reporter. And he is going to come on the show again on Wednesday, tomorrow evening. And dude, it's fucking chaos at the border. It is truly, truly chaos. Tens of thousands of people coming into the United States with COVID, with no testing, right in front of our immigration police. Dude, you should see what's happening in Southern California. He's about to release this documentary. It's called Something Cartel. It premieres on Wednesday. This guy made it. And then I have him on also Wednesday, and he gave me a screener of it, and I watched it. It's crazy what's happening in California. Do you remember? Did you remember, like, you probably don't remember, but like 20 or 30 years ago, I'd go to foreign countries and I would see just tent cities and shit everywhere. And I'd be like, man, we have it good in the United States. And now everywhere in California, there's fucking tent cities everywhere. Like it's fucking India here. And now we have just huge swaths of land being used by the Mexican cartel in Southern California to just grow drugs. And it's just nuts. And there's just not police to enforce it on other people's property, on other people's land. It's nuts. This documentary is crazy. You can't even believe you can't believe this is the United States. Do you know any people who live in Texas near the border?
I know a few Border Patrol agents at state and federal level, and they've said similar to the fact that it's pretty crazy, to put it mildly. Yeah.
The Americans who live down there are legitimately scared. Like people just rolling through their property. They're saying it's just crazy.
I think it's really hard too in such a large country. It's like it's easy to live one place and feel like nothing's wrong and everything's all right, and just not understand the context of what it's like to live somewhere else where things like that are happening. Like I think it's really hard for people to believe, like, look, that can't be happening. And it's like the US is big enough where it's certainly could be happening. Anyway.
Peace and love.
Where were we? What are we talking about?
You know what? I was always wishing I was into kite flying. I never could get into it, but I always liked flying a kite.
I once had a kite. It was the Starship Enterprise, shaped like the Starship Enterprise.
Wow.
No, I was miserable.
How old were you?
I don't remember. It was probably 28. Such a miserable experience. I never successfully flew a kite.
Yeah, it's there's good times and there's bad times with kites.
And I think there's a lot more art to it than just huck it up there and let it roll, right? Or fly.
The only rich I care about has a farm, a six-pack, and dreamy eyes. It's good.
Sevan feels the same way. Consumer savings driven up by freeze on student loans and eviction moratoriums. This new normal will reflect the truth about the pandemic. It accelerated the future. We'll work from home more, go to the office less. We'll order more things and food online. Leisure travel may not change much, but business travel will compete with Zoom. The global economy will go through deglobalization. More manufacturing will move away from China and back to the US and Europe. Remember, this is an opinion piece. Inventories will become a bit less just in time. The one disruption that really puzzles me is the labor shortage. Millions of US jobs are unfilled. Stories of Starbucks stores being closed due to lack of workers. Every service that has a labor component has gotten worse. Restaurants, ride sharing, pharmacies. I feel like anecdotally, I've started to notice this, especially with the ride share. I've especially seen this as I've traveled around and talked to different people working in restaurants, bartenders, and so on and so forth, waiters. Main theory for explaining a labor shortage: early retirement by baby boomers. Starting podcast, migration of the labor force, newly minted Bitcoin millionaires who don't want to work, folks who sold expensive houses and bought cheaper ones and are sitting on comfortable nest eggs, or bought farms and lots of art. Much of this newfound wealth has made its way into the stock market, cryptos, real estate, NFTs, and anything else that can be bought and sold. As the final elements of the pandemic stimulus roll off, people either need to go back to work or sell assets to pay for expenses, and speculative markets will run out of greater fools. Rational thinking and conservative portfolios will be rewarded again. So keep saving your money and get back to work.
When the United States government is giving a family of 4 $2,880 every 2 weeks, there is no reason to go to work.
I will say something really interesting on this. When the
Think
pandemic,
that's $5,600 a month.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Tax free. I mean, that's after you pay the taxes on it.
And actually, there's lots of tax
Dude, that's a
rebates
shit
rolling
ton
out
of money.
from people overpaying taxes on unemployment. But when I was in Massachusetts, and when the pandemic hit, and everyone could apply for unemployment, and even in contract workers, and there are certainly people out there who need it, and who definitely needed it. Like, I could apply for it, and my wife and I certainly didn't need to. And it was crazy because in Massachusetts has the best unemployment in the country. But yeah, you could make, I think a large family could make up to almost $3,000.
This would be my wait, up to how much?
Like, I shouldn't say that, but around $2,000 in a week. Like, you could be taking in almost, over $4,000 a month. And there were certainly people out there who needed it, but there were certainly people out there who did not need it, and
those people should still apply for it, by the way. Everyone should get what everyone should get. Everyone should get what's offered to them, and then if you don't want it, you can give it away to other fucking people. You shouldn't fucking let it sit with the fucking government.
I agree with that.
You should get every cent that you fucking
especially if you're paying those taxes. But
yes.
I don't know. I feel like technology,
which brings me to this.
Make
do you know
that
how
system better.
I paid millions of dollars in taxes.
Thank you.
And I have no problem, I guess. I do have a problem, but I'm just going to pretend like I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with them purchasing drugs for every person in the United States. But then to force me to take the drugs that you purchased with my fucking money, bam. I pay taxes, you buy drugs, now I have to take them. Fuck off. That's crazy, dude. What kind of world do we live in? They used our tax money to buy drugs for everybody, and now I have to take them?
Constitution significantly empowers federal and state governments to prescribe.
So you should invite. You should say that again. Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
In a health emergency or national emergency, the Constitution gives states and federal government a lot of power. Like a state of emergency, that's. You just go read some of your constitutional language in your state. For the federal government, it dumps a lot of power into those governments in those scenarios. And then we can argue whether or not there was was there a need for that state of emergency? That's a whole different argument than just saying they can't do it, but it's been going on for a long time.
Someone said something really offensive about you just now.
Whether I agree with it or not.
Someone said, Sevan, you should interview Jordan Peterson. The channel would blow up. Like you're not good enough, Hobart.
In comparison, I think he would be a better interview than me.
I don't even know what I would say to him. Hey, can you just come on? Hey, Jordan, Caden Carpenter thinks that if you came on my show, my channel would blow up. Would it just blow up for that one episode, or would people stick around? I should have The Rock on here and Selena Gomez.
Then it would really blow up. You get one of the Kardashians on here.
And Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
It's been said and done.
Thanks, Kate. I don't know why everyone thinks Peterson's so great, though. I'll throw that out there. But okay.
I think he's amazing.
A lot of people do. Biden on gas.
Selena Gomez.
She has too many followers for you.
And said and done. Love you like a love song.
The Biden administration unveiled its methane emissions reduction action plan on Tuesday as President Biden addressed a global audience at the COP26 Climate Summit in Glasgow, Scotland. Wow. To do this, the EPA will be proposing new guidelines and standards under the Clean Air Act. This would include updated standards for detecting and repairing leaks and moving from current pneumatic controllers to utilizing zero-emission technology. Additionally, the Department of the Interior plans to address wasteful venting and flaring of gas during drilling operations and well leaks, noting that these drilling operations will not go away. The Department
Dude,
of
how funny is
Transportation-
that? How funny is that the first of all, I know so many people want to believe in global warming and climate change. If you really want to learn about that and you really want to find out if science is legit or not, start really looking into that. Start really looking at the other side and reading the smart people in the room's discussion about whether real science was used. And one of the weakest sciences ever on the planet, it's probably weaker than fucking astrology, is climatology. I mean, it's a fucking joke. But anyway, but I don't have a
dog in the fight.
I don't have skin in the game, but the science there is pretty bad. But okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I'm going to say something crazy.
Okay.
I think let's just
don't lose your job. Don't lose your job.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The
Go
Department of
ahead.
Transportation would also be involved
lose your
tackling
job.
leaks in oil gas pipelines, and as well as, well, let's just assume it's all true. Yeah, hit me with this. God, what a great song.
Every beautiful thought's been already sung, and I guess right now.
Can you hear it?
Oh, I hear it perfect. It's great.
How come I can't hear it?
Doesn't matter. It's still great, man.
Can you hear it,
I hear
Souza?
it loud and clear.
It's fucking lame that I can't hear
All right, bye, Selena.
Don't flag us for copyright there.
it. Shit.
The Department.
Hey,
of
that
Trans-
song reminds me of my wife. God, it reminds me so much of my wife.
That's really nice.
I know. That's the only Selena Gomez song I know, and I just like it so much. It reminds me. My wife wrote a love song. I should play it on the air one time. It's so good, and she sung it. And when I was and she sung it and sent it to me, and then she sent it to me, and I was like filming a regional in Denver or a sectional or something. This is like in 2009 or 10, and I must have listened to it like 1,000 times the night she sent it to me, just like into the wee hours, like 3 a.m. It was so awesome. And she was like, I feel like every love song's already been sung, but then like a few days later, I heard this song by Selena Gomez after my wife said that, and I was like, wow, that's what Selena Gomez thought too. It's been said and done.
When I first started dating my wife, I would write her poems, love poems, just text them to her randomly.
Were you just like, you have to be infatuated to do that shit?
Yeah, I really like to write though. It was like one of my favorite things to do, in all forms of writing. So it was like I don't know. It was a nice.
What
way
did
to
you
get a little-
talk about your love for her? Did you ever talk about her body?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's riff us some
Oh,
bars.
I will. I think she still has some saved. I'll get some for you.
Okay, dude, you have to be infatuated to write.
Yeah.
By the way, she didn't write that love song to me. My wife just wrote it. Like, it's not to
Oh
me.
shit.
Yeah.
So who is she thinking about?
I don't know.
You don't want to. It was you.
Have you heard of Michael Schellenberger? He thinks climate change has been misrepresented. Apocalypse never. No, it's like Y2K. Y2K.
I think the bigger question on climate change is whether or not, pick a side, but it's like, are we dealing with it the right way? Are the right people in power dealing with it the right way? And are they really thinking about everyone else who is not in power? I think that's a more important question, but
That is a good question.
the Department of Transportation would also be involved. Thank goodness.
I don't even know what this means, but I just like it.
They're great tackling leaks in oil and gas pipelines, as well as liquefied natural gas in underground natural gas storage facilities. This isn't something we have to do to protect the environment in our future. It's an enormous opportunity for all of us, all of our nations, to create jobs, make meeting climate goals a core part of our global economic recovery as well. I'll say something else a little crazy here. I don't know if it's good to create jobs just for the sake of creating jobs. Ugh. Oh, God. Okay.
I've invited Shane Orr. Oh, absolutely. James. The problem with infrastructure is that it requires so much time keeping up. So like at one point, like I had, I don't know, like 15 motorcycles. And do you know how expensive and time consuming it is to register 15 motorcycles and pay insurance on them? And it's just like stupid. It's idiot world. And and I'm not saying that we shouldn't have a strong infrastructure, but and how about this climate plan? We're gonna make sure wells don't leak. Well, fuck, shouldn't have that been part of the plan in the beginning?
Yeah.
Poopy pants shut down all our pipelines and oil production. I will say this: of all the things that's just crazy, I can't believe that we were energy independent and now we're not. That is just bizarre. The love song your wife wrote about Josh Bridges, Steven, 20 burpees.
Sam Reed, appreciate the shout out on the level 1 and the online level 1. Huge props to the CrossFit Seminar staff team who stood the level 1, the online level 1 up like immediately as soon as pandemic shutdowns hit everywhere across the globe, and they pushed that out essentially overnight to have a resource and continue to provide level 1s, which is really cool. So I'm glad you're liking it.
They've redone it even since then.
Yeah, they've tuned up some things there, but yeah, just the first team, they're just amazing. That whole team of trainers and admin staff, pretty awesome. I'm biased though, so.
No, God.
I think electric cars are just super cool though, as far as like a technological advancement. I don't know if they're like the solution ? But I do have some stories coming up that might tell us what the solution is.
Sevan talks about the online level L1 being a scam. Never. Hey,
is that what you say when I'm not on your podcast? Oh, that's like you have a mistress behind my back. It's like if you were doing podcasts with Jordan Peterson on the side, but then lying to me about it. I'd be so mad.
I wouldn't let him on the show. He'd make me look bad. Hey, this electric car thing. I mean, the real question is just this: where the fuck is that electricity coming from? And is it from a cleaner source than cars burning it? And once again, it's just the scale. Like, how hard is that to figure out? What electric cars save? Or how much environmental damage or how much exhaust or pollution do the batteries, do the plants that have to make the electricity? How much do those affect our clean air? Let's say, pick the metric versus gas cars, and just figure it out. It's the same thing with the COVID response. I would have no problem with the COVID response if just you could guarantee me that it didn't cause one kid to get molested. And I know it has.
Okay. Because of the lockdowns. I didn't know where you were going with that. Gotcha.
And so if kids are being hurt, I don't care if you save 100 billion old people. I don't give a fuck. I refuse to hurt kids. You selfish bastards. Okay, go on, Hobart. Let's talk about climate. It's good. It's fine.
Where were we? Plants needed to generate power.
It's weird that I have a subject like a stop on something. Like I've never really stood for anything. It's kind of cool. Kids.
Where's the real star of the show, Kate? I don't know, but we need her, man. Thank you, Nate. Kate, we miss you. We miss you dearly.
I do know.
Truck in another country.
I do know the story. I know all the stories. I am the CrossFit historian.
Do you know the story how Dave Castro and I met? Hold on. Just pause there for a second. So Wad Zombie says every 1,000 electric cars gets undone by one truck in another country. So I think what's interesting about this entire discussion is that there are so many anecdotes like this. And not that they highlight a solution or that we're onto the wrong solution, but I think they do highlight the need for nuance in this area and in this discussion. And I think there are so many different factors involved. And I think people should, if you have extra time to research stuff, you should look into this. Because like I said, I think there are a lot of solutions brewing as far as how to control, if you want to look up smart grids and how to control power consumption. And I don't think it's going to be as simple as like, oh, we'll just create electric cars and everything will be okay. It could be as complicated and as negative and endemic as if you have such and such license plate or live in such and such county, here are the days you can drive, here are the days you cannot drive. There's some wariness there as far as how the rest of the world and our country is going to handle climate change. I'm hoping that human ingenuity can outpace the stupidity that comes out of our politicians. but we'll see. Anyway, Bezos on Nature. So following in line with our little Biden on gas, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has said that his Bezos Earth Fund will spend $2 billion restoring landscapes and transforming food systems. So just to give some perspective here, under the Agricultural Improvement Act of 2018, also known as the 2018 Farm Act, the Congressional Budget Office estimates mandatory conservation spending at $29.5 billion over 5 years, so $6 billion a year. Also, the 2020 President's budget for Fish and Wildlife Services in the United States is $2.8 billion, so about $1 billion more than Jeff Bezos's Earth Fund is promising. In Glasgow, the founder, Jeff Bezos, of the world's biggest online retailer, described the experience of traveling on his rocket ship, New Shepard, in July as a revelation of Earth's vulnerability.
Oh, geez.
Hold on. Let me finish. Bezos was told that seeing the Earth from space changes the lens from which you view the world, but he said he was not prepared for just how much that would be true. Last year, Amazon Employees for Climate Justice, I like that this exists, called the online retail giant to achieve zero emissions by 2030, limit its work with fossil fuel companies. Hey, why are we taking such big shits on large companies? So here's what I was going to say before. That would be a little crazy. So let's assume every inch of the climate change discussion is true. Then my guess would be the only good way to stop it would be to stop growing the population. So, or stop using Amazon, I guess. I don't know.
When you fly over the country, it doesn't look like there's a lot of people. I don't understand why this guy, I don't understand why this guy thinks that because he got on a ladder and looked at the Earth, that his whole consciousness all of a sudden changed.
It might be pretty awesome. I've never been in space, so
I'm sure it's very awesome.
Yeah.
But just because you think it's fragile, I'm not gonna go there. Yeah. Okay. Good story. It's interesting to hear. It's interesting to hear that. I think that there's a lot of things people can do to help the planet. I think that most of it is to teach people to be better people. And how do you teach people to be better people?
You
figure out ways to
their obedience.
No. Find out. Basically, you need to. It cannot be said strong enough that the kids are the future, and if they don't have good parents, then there won't be good kids. And that's really the issue for everything.
Yeah, no, but Wad Zombie here says California commuters are going to be taxed by the mile. I haven't confirmed this, but I think this is a really good example of like, hey, as these new laws and come down in terms to reduce carbon emissions or part of the new Green New Deal, like who does that really hurt? I don't think that actually hurts the largest carbon producers on planet Earth. That hurts, the however many commuters, who are just trying to get to their job.
Horrible idea
in California. It's
anyway. Abusive. It's a horrible idea. It's fucking abusive.
So it's worth thinking about. So here we go.
Yeah, it hurts the people who are actually going to work. Exactly.
Yeah, we talked about this in a story recently, which was about how California proposed to have all of its like lawn care appliances, weed whackers, lawnmowers, all pushed over to electric power sources and not be combustible engines anymore by a certain date. And that they've started a fund to help small businesses, but the fund only gives small businesses this nominal amount to change all of their equipment over to these electric sources. So complicated problem for sure. But let's talk about farts. A typical fart is composed of about 59% nitrogen, 21% hydrogen, 9% carbon dioxide. I'm just trying to do my part to reduce emissions. 7% methane and 4% oxygen. Only about 1% of a fart contains hydrogen sulfide gas, which contains sulfur, and sulfur is what makes farts stink. Now, let's talk about cows releasing methane and contributing to global warming. Authors said that despite plans proposals for strong limits on emissions over a decade, we aren't sure that we'll be able to fully get rid of farting cows or airplanes that fast. Cows fart. That contributes to global warming. But cow burps are worse for the climate. Cows are pretty disgusting eaters, with methane coming from both ends.
This is all horse shit.
Nope, cow shit. But
This
most
is
of it comes
such
from burping.
bullshit.
Hold on, this is Associated Press. One researcher cited that of the methane produced by enteric fermentation in the forestomach, 95% of it was excreted by a burp, and 89% was found excreted through the breath. An Italy environmental scholar said methane emitted by ruminant livestock accounts for about 5.5% of greenhouse gases that come from human activity.
Oh, wait, say that again. Give me those numbers again.
Methane emitted from ruminant livestock accounts for about 5.5% of greenhouse gases that come from human activity. I think human activity means because we're raising livestock and using livestock to eat and do whatever livestock do.
Okay.
That accounts for 5.5% of greenhouse gases. More than 70% of livestock emissions are from cattle, he said. For all of that green, this is an older article. I think this is 2 years old, But I was really curious.
3%. So that's 3%.
Sure. For all of that, the Green New Deal does not seek to ban cows or planes, as it sets ambitious targets to eliminate most greenhouse gas emissions responsible for global warming by 2030, 8 years. The deal, introduced in the House by Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York as a binding resolution, not legislation, proposes massive spending on clean energy and energy-efficient buildings and transit. It proposes working collaboratively with farmers to remove pollution and greenhouse gas emissions from agriculture as much as is technologically feasible. And then let's get down to brass tacks here. Does it fart? So here's my solution to reducing climate change. If you see a cow, go out and kill it. Millipedes fart, no doubt discreetly. Several species of herring communicate with each other that way. If you startle a zebra, says the book, it will fart with each stride as it runs away. Flatulence signals a baboon is ready to mate. Same for me. For the Bolson pupfish found in Mexico, it's fart or die. They feed on algae that make them buoyant, easy prey near the surface. Farts sink them to safety, so they release their gas inside to decrease buoyancy. Similarly, manatees may let loose when it's time to dive deeply. Whale farts are, of course, epic. Birds and most sea creatures don't fart. Clams clam up, though they've been known to throw up. The jury is out on whether or not spiders fart. More research is needed. So if anybody sees one, let me know. But the hope here is that in preservation of our climate, we get to kill more bugs, which I'm all for.
Not me. Bugs is so important in the food chain. You know what's crazy? I heard there was like birds were just starting to, we had way less birds than normal in California. And I was kind of tripping on that. And then I started noticing we had fewer insects in California. And if you drive to Los Angeles, and I've talked about this before, you used to see so many birds on the underpasses of the freeways on the 5 when you go down from San Francisco to LA. I mean, it was crazy. And now you don't see any. None. They're gone.
Well, here's what I think.
You know why they're gone? Because the insects are gone.
And the insects are gone because?
I don't know why, but it's not good.
Oh, I thought you were going to do like a big tinfoil hat conspiracy spiral down to like pesticides.
Yes, aliens are collecting them and using them for
pesticides used for big, like agra and I don't know.
I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this to you. Ready?
Hit me with it. Birds aren't real. Stephen, that's good.
It has been estimated that just one of these shipping containers, so imagine a big, massive shipping container, the length of around 6 football pitches, produces the same amount of pollution as 50 million cars. The emissions from 15 of these mega ships match those emissions of all the cars in the world. And this is not an opinion piece. Okay, I'm done. Just contextualizing the pollution.
Yeah, Bruce, I don't blame Biden for sleeping through the COP. I'm sure it was really boring. So
Neither do
he
I.
gets a
And
hall pass on that, man. If any of us were there,
I
we would be
agree.
passed out. We would be blacked out, asleep, snoring. I mean,
And how does he stay awake after that? Like I used to travel overseas a lot. It's horrible.
brutal.
Jet
And
lag
he
is
is like
real.
187,000 years old. But again, why we should have an age cap for politicians. So thank you.
What I'm wondering though is I know he's not real and he's just a robot. You know, he's not a real human. He's just a robot. I mean,
I hate that he has better teeth than me.
and how is it that they can't keep the robot's eyes open? Yeah, I don't blame him for that either, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Like, when I see stuff like that, it's like, dude, let's just focus on just hating him for the right reasons.
Yeah, the
not
right
'cause he
reasons.
fell
Yeah.
asleep. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, lay off the ad hominem attacks. Let's just blast people for policy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And
we would all
like,
fall asleep.
like I would give him points for his wife being pretty too, if I'm gonna make fun of him for falling asleep. Like, and you know, it's like she is pretty.
All right. Trees fart.
But his son is a douche.
I've
And
never
that's worth examining.
Never met him. So found this article. This is so good. Tree farts contribute about a fifth of greenhouse gases from ghost forests. I just need everybody to read that headline multiple times.
I thought trees were good for global warming and greenhouse gases.
The whole title, Tree Farts and Ghost Forests. I love it. Anyway, it's like
what is this? What
Let me get to
publication? What publication?
Oh, this is a really hardcore, well-researched science publication.
Okay.
Scroll back up to the top. What is it?
Harvard Magazine.
Science News, independent journalism since 1921.
Okay.
So you know it's trustworthy.
Yep.
The findings are helping researchers get a detailed accounting of the planet's carbon budget. And I didn't know our planet was on a carbon budget, but it's about damn time somebody tighten the reins. Gases released by dead trees, dubbed tree farts, account for roughly 1/5 of the greenhouse gases emitted by skeletal marshy forests along the coast of North Carolina. So this is probably an infinitesimally small number. There we go. While these emissions pale in comparison with other resources, an accurate accounting is necessary to get a full picture of where climate warming gases come from. Okay. The emergence of ghost forests is one of the biggest changes happening in response to sea level rise. As forests convert to wetlands, we expect over long timescales that's going to represent a substantial carbon sink. Since wetlands store more carbon than forests, but in the short term, dead trees decay and stop taking up carbon dioxide through photosynthesis, which you were saying, Sevan, trees should be good for this process. So that's going to be a major greenhouse gas source. We're just talking about 1/5 of greenhouse gases emitted by marshy forests along the coast of North Carolina, now leading to be a major greenhouse gas source. Soils gave off most of the greenhouse gases from the ghost forests. In the grand scheme of carbon emissions, this was the best line, ghost forests' role may be minor. Tree farts, for instance, have nothing on cow burps. A single dairy cow can emit up to 27 grams of methane, a far more potent greenhouse gas than CO2 per hour. If I ever see a vegetarian burping, I'm going to slap them. Just going to say that.
Yeah. Just say, hey, was that a cow fart?
Yeah. Be like, what are you doing contributing to global warming? Anyway.
You really went into the fart thing and the global warming thing this week.
I just, I've heard a lot of people talking about like, don't eat meat, methane, cows, creates global warming, they fart. And so I don't know. You just want to get to the root of it all.
Have you put on any followers since you started doing this show?
I've lost more followers in the last 2 years but I do get really interesting comments and discussions in DMs now. So, oh, this is a good one.
Barbelljobs.com.
Yeah, I need it.
Barbelljobs.
I'll shoot you guys my resume. There's something I want to say, but I forgot. Which CrossFit athlete has the smelliest farts?
I actually asked Hopper today, which is interesting, that if you have to fart and you're out there, like, do you try to hold it in? And he said no. And absolutely not, right? I mean, let me ask you as a former athlete, like if you had to fart and you were like in between like your girl, who were your girls? Like you competed with Tasia?
No, before that.
Who were the chicks on your team?
Kristen Raffit, Ellie Cabord.
Like, would you just be doing thrusters and just
Lindy,
fart one? You just
Lindy
fart,
Barber.
right? You don't do anything.
Belinda.
You don't do anything to hurt. It took you too long to say their names. You didn't do anything like to hold it in, right?
No, let it loose constantly.
In the name of just getting the best score.
Yeah, that didn't matter.
Did you ever hear Rich fart?
I felt guilty. He doesn't fart, man.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
He's.
Hey, do you know anything that you can just eat and like within an hour you'll just be like farting a storm?
Anything with canola oil immediately, and cheese immediately.
Really?
Yep, like that. It's true. All right.
How about anything?
These comments are out of control. We got to move on.
Okay, go.
They're out of control. That's it. That's all I got on global warming and methane gases.
Oh, these comments. Stop, you guys. Be cool, man. This is a new
Motocross
show.
Mike just comes in and starts swinging haymakers.
I'm fucking wearing a fucking collared shirt. Knuckleheads.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Carrie Pierce says goodbye to competitive CrossFit. It's actually a nice little write-up. November 2014, after finishing her college gymnastics career and working as a personal trainer in New York, she was asked to help coach gymnastics to CrossFit athletes. She'd spent 18 years as a competitive gymnast, winning 4 Big Ten championships on the University of Michigan varsity team, and then just crushing it in CrossFit. After retiring from gymnastics, she dabbled with powerlifting, didn't like that, tried physique competition, did some weightlifting, but when she found CrossFit, she felt at home. She said, I felt comfortable in my own skin, comfortable being muscular and strong, and proud to show off my body I worked so hard for. She says the Murph event that she won at the games was a pivotal moment during the first games. Wasn't a great runner and definitely not as mentally tough as she is today. And remember doing the mile run and being tempted to walk or just stop altogether. At one point, she said, I was like, maybe I can fake an injury so I can just stop. What carried her through the event were the thousands of screaming fans cheering her on. And in the moment on the 1 mile run during Murph, she realized how important they would be to my newly forming CrossFit career. 7 years later, she's more appreciative of the fans in the worldwide CrossFit community. And she's ready, she says, her heart is smiling, ready to move on from competition and focus on my quickly growing brand, Power Abs, and help others reach their fitness goals. That's just a nice write-up.
Wow. Is there a Power Abs website?
Yeah, pull it up. That's her. Her workouts are out of control, but it maybe starts to explain why she has epically jacked abs.
How do you know her workouts are out of control? Because you went.
I've done a couple, yeah. I want abs that look like that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Are we looking at? Did he put up a picture? I was researching some shit. I was somewhere else.
Yeah, I could tell.
You could tell?
Yeah, you were. Yeah, I could tell you were somewhere else.
Did he put up a picture of her abs?
How would you like abs like this? I'd fucking love it, Carrie Pierce.
Yeah. Yep.
And I get to win $500 in cash.
What website is that? Souza?
It's powerabs.com and it's or piercepointers.com is the other one as well. But if you just Google search Power Abs, it'll come up right away. First one.
Barbelljobs.com. Okay.
The reigning fittest woman in the U.S. champ.
That's cool. I guess now that she's retired, I guess I don't have to have her on the podcast. I was going to have her on the podcast.
No, you definitely should have her on the podcast.
No, she retired.
I was going to say you have me on the podcast. I don't consider myself retired, but because I never did it like professionally.
So how did you meet Dave?
I met Dave after the 2010 sectionals or whatever we were calling them at the time in Albany, New York. I met him at dinner after that event. And that's when I used to wear capris when I would compete.
I remember that.
That was really odd.
Oh, I remember that.
Like I think he asked me if I was from outside of the U.S. because he was like, I don't really see a lot of guys in the U.S. wear capris. And I just really like the way they feel on your knees. So they just make sense to me. What,
you like the way capris feel on your knees? What does capris have anything to do with your knees? They
your
ankles.
Yeah, but I just like the way they feel on your knees. That's why I used to love wearing like long basketball shorts too.
Why wouldn't you just wear pants? Capris are basically
Because
just
they cover up
floods.
too much. You can't work out and you can't compete in pants.
Well,
It's
my
fucking
kids
ludicrous.
wear capris, so
Yeah, they get it.
I don't know why I'm getting on. No, that was because of my choice, but I don't approve of you wearing them.
I don't care. You stuck all my cigars up your butt. I don't give a shit what you think, man.
I'm reading this article that came out January 13th, 2021. I guess that's pretty old. And it's called Battle of the Coaches, Shane Orr versus Ben Bergeron.
People love doing stuff like that. I think Darren Hunsucker is the most winningest coach of all time. Let's get that out there. The coach of the Mayhem team for pretty much every single win. Participated
really,
on the Mayhem team.
I mean, come on.
He's been Rich's coach. He was Rich's coach forever. So, I mean, I think he is the winning. He is the guy.
No.
Yes.
I don't think he's really a coach.
Check the stats. He's
But
listed as his coach.
All right.
Gave me good advice.
He did?
Yeah.
Forwarding an email to my wife right now.
I can tell.
I can't believe I'm fucking multitasking.
This new show's really killing you, huh?
Oh shit! Did you see the picture I used for you for the new show?
No, I didn't. Is it good?
I like it. It's your back and it shows you kissing a dog. And once again, I've misrepresented saying someone will be here who's not.
What is Let me see the picture.
I don't want to take Suze's job away from him.
Will Brandstetter, thoughts on CrossFit reducing the age group divisions to 10 athletes, and Dave saying they want to remove age group, etc., from the games and make new event in the future. Personally, Will, I would like this. And the reason I would like this is because I think it would allow spectators and family members who come watch age group athletes to go watch it and only pay for that event. And I don't know. I think it would be a nice draw for them, and it would allow them to put more resources to. Oh yeah, that's Fio. She's a great dog. So those are my thoughts on it. I kind of like the idea of it.
Any more news stories?
I got a lot more news stories.
Oh, let's do it. Shit, I'm ready to roll.
What Mikey Swoosh's complaint is it valid? I don't. Pacelli retires as well. So on November 2nd, 2021, that's today, Alessandra Pacelli announced her retirement from competitive CrossFit in a post on her Instagram page.
So wait a second. So Holta, Alessandra Pacelli, Carrie Pierce, all retired. Is this kind of Panchik? Is this kind of like your neighbors getting a divorce and you're like,
it's about damn time.
Maybe I'm gonna dump my bitch too. Is it like that? Hey,
my bastard.
Do you know that phenomenon, Hobart? Do you roll with? Do you roll with any couples where someone gets a divorce or someone cheats? Like there's
I have some friends who got divorces. Yeah.
And it's crazy how it kind of rocks the boat. The cheating thing is really weird, right? So there's like let's say there's like 10 couples, and not that you guys all hang out all together, but it's some way or another throughout the year your paths are always crossing, whether it's like, you know, at the gym or at Christmas parties. Some come to your house on a regular basis. Some you go to their house, but and some are like
it just turns into a big swinger gangbang. Or
no. And like there's those people like who are like more social than other people. Like we have couples that come to our house and hang out, but they go to other people's house who we're kind of friends with, but we're not friends with, and they're like anyway. And then all of a sudden you find out like one of the dudes was cheating on the chick, or the chick was cheating on the dude, and it just sends this uneasy ripple through the whole tribe. You haven't experienced that yet?
No.
All of a sudden dudes are just like, yo, what the fuck is my chick cheating on me? And the chicks are like, yo, is my dude cheating? You don't know? Okay. Well,
what is that phenomenon called?
I don't know. Unfortunately, me and my wife have been together so long, like we just kind of got to witness it, and I understand it, but we didn't get swept up in it. But I understand it. It's the same thing if you and your wife like hung out with a couple who just had a married kid, or just had a kid, you would start wanting to have a kid too. Like your wife's like vagina would get in tune with the other lady's vagina, or she'd see the lady breastfeeding and then she'd want to try it, and like stuff like that. It's like just stuff like it's metaphysical stuff, Hobart. It can't be talked about or touched. It can't be touched. It can only be talked about.
I try not to think that hard, man. You really you took that to a level of psychology and insight that I wasn't prepared to go to.
This is not a superficial show.
I just spent 20 minutes talking about farts. Since her CrossFit Games debut in 2012 as part of Team Diablo CrossFit in Neho, she competed at the Games as an individual on 8 separate occasions since 2013. Bocelli's best CrossFit Games finish came in 2013 when she barely missed the podium via 4th place overall rank. Her future is likely to involve CrossFit in some capacity, but how specifically is still up in the air. She's not sure yet how her next decade looks, but will definitely approach it with the same passion, drive, and commitment that she gave to CrossFit. In this last year, we've also seen Panchek and Holte retire.
Ronda Rousey went to the Olympics, and I think she won the silver in judo. And I think that the story is that she was so broke when she came back, she sold her silver medal. Do you know if that's true, Souza? Off the top of your head? You don't have to look.
Oh, I thought you meant like physically body broken. You meant poor.
No, broke it financially. And she happened to just the UFC. I don't know what her story is with getting to the UFC, but she came to the UFC and she was a superstar, and she really kind of led the way for women in MMA. And I'm assuming to this day that she saved her money and she's rich. My point is this. You just mentioned, like, I don't know what their financial situation is, but you just mentioned some insane world-class athletes. Kristen Holta, Alessandra Pacelli, and Carrie Pierce. I mean, like, anywhere they go, they're the fittest person. They're the fittest person anywhere. There are workouts that the one-on-one those girls can beat Tia Toomey in. And I just wonder, like, man, they've invested so much. What do they do from here? I mean, I hope Carrie Pierce's ab thing is killing it and she's filthy rich and they get to do what they love. But, like, what do they do? What do they do from here? I mean, they were.
It's hard to say because you don't know what they've been up to on the side. I mean, like,
right.
Annie and Katrin are making headphones now. You know,
Annie and Katrin are a little different because they have these massive followings, and they won the games, and they had a little more. They still have to parlay though their wins. No one's getting. I mean, look at Matt. I mean, he's not getting rich off of his games winnings. He's had to parlay that into grabbing his ankles for the Buttery Bros. You know what I mean? Like he has to parlay that. He's got a protein drink with the Buttery Bros. I mean. They go to barbelljobs.com. That is correct. They do go to barbelljobs.com.
Oh, man. I bet Wild Zombie gets a lot of followers off this show.
I hope so. It's the only meme account I follow. I
mean, I was a mediocre CrossFit Games athlete at best, and I was pretty cognizant of that. And throughout that entire time, I was very focused on continually trying to build something of what I could do next. And I was fortunate that I really liked coaching in CrossFit, and I was around people who could help make me better at it.
Didn't you go to law school, Hobart?
I did go to law school, yeah.
Didn't you take the bar?
I did not take the bar.
Oh. Dumbass.
I hopefully will someday. I'd like to.
They start selling their farts.
Boom.
Hey, soon they're going to be able to sell their Twitter post. Isn't that what NFTs are? Like somehow you sell your Twitter post?
Sort of, yeah. Tesla stock. Someone who's not hurting for money. Elon Musk. Shares of Tesla Incorporated tumbled almost 4% in midday trading on Tuesday after the CEO and founder Elon Musk tweeted that a contract to sell 100,000 Teslas to Hertz had not been signed, suggesting the deal had not been finalized. It'll be fine tomorrow. The Tesla Silicon Valley Club tweeted an image of a graph showing Tesla's 8.5% gain that day and thanked Musk. Musk tweeted a reply about 6 hours later, "You're welcome. If any of this is based on Hertz, I'd like to emphasize that no contract has been signed yet," and that led to the 4% drop. As we announced last week, Hertz has made an initial order of 100,000 Tesla electric vehicles by the end of 2022 and is investing in new EV charging infrastructure across the company's global operations, the company said in an email. Deliveries of Teslas already have started, and consumer reaction to our commitment to lead in electrification. What a great new buzzword. God, that's my favorite. Lead in electrification has been beyond our expectations. Hertz first announced the deal just more than a week ago, one of the largest purchases of battery-powered cars in history. Financial details of the deal, such as how Hertz was paying per car or the total price, were not revealed at the time because Hertz went bankrupt. If Hertz were to pay the full $40,000 retail price for each Model 3, it would make the deal worth around $4 billion to the automaker. Hertz, if they do a deal with Tesla, will instantly be recognized as part of the EV electrification revolution, not the problem, like those farty cows and trees. Shares of Tesla fell.
Because electricity just comes from the sky. You don't need to do anything to get electricity.
You rub paper together.
Yeah, electric cars, they're good for the environment because you just plug them in the wall and they don't make any pollution.
Bam. Shares of Tesla fell 3.6% in midday trading Tuesday to about $1,100 per share. So it's your chance to get out there and buy some Tesla stocks, people.
So when you say that they haven't signed the contract, it's like, hey, they went to Amazon, the CEO of Hertz, whoever that is. Can you pull a picture of him, Susan, if you can? The CEO of Hertz goes over to Amazon.com and he puts 100,000 Teslas in his shopping cart, and he just hasn't put his credit card number in yet. But we know that they're in his shopping cart. I mean, is that how the rest of us idiots are supposed to interpret like the contract?
Yeah, he might even be paying cash and he's just still counting it out on the to the associate. Like we're in it.
Yes. You guys want to hear a story about the CrossFit Journal? Or do you guys want to look at the picture of Paul Stone? Yeah, Paul. Go back to I hope Amazon sent you an email reminding you that you left 100,000 Teslas in your shopping cart.
Elon's such a strategist, though. He might just have done that to put pressure on them to actually go through and sign the deal too.
Or he was just stoned. But I like your
both. Lay it on us.
So the CrossFit Journal was started by Greg Glassman at a very, very, very early. It is basically the start of CrossFit. So Greg basically was like, hey, I have these articles I want to write, and I want to make some money because I'm tired of fucking not having a car and riding my bike to work. So I'm going to start writing these articles. And he started writing these articles, and then he would print them out once a month, and he would sell them to people, or he'd send them a PDF and they would print them out. And that's what he did. And the subscription, I forget what it was. It was $25 a year, $25 a month, or some shit like that. And for the first couple years, he wrote all of the articles himself. Greg wrote every single fucking article. And he did that at a coffee shop. He wrote What is Fitness there. He defined fitness here at a coffee shop right down the street from my house. It's called like the Ugly Mug. I don't go there anymore because they have a huge BLM sign and they believe in genders, and it's a place where they don't believe in free speech. They're racist and they're homophobic under the guise of not. So I don't go to that coffee shop anymore. But anyway, so that's where CrossFit was basically started, and it was started through this journal. This CrossFit Journal. And over the years, when I came on board in end of 2006, beginning 2007, a guy named Eddie Lugo who's a SEAL, I think he was a SEAL Team 6 operator, was actually in charge of the CrossFit Journal. And there were tons of SEALs around then, tons. And I think Tony Boniman was running media. He just sort of taken over from Lauren. The company was kind of just finding itself at that point. There were like between 200 and 300 gyms around the world. And I think Greg and Lauren had just moved from Santa Cruz to Arizona so that they could afford to buy a house, because the shithole they lived in, that was a completely dilapidated one-bedroom piece of shit, was $800,000, and they bought a brand new home in Arizona for $300,000. And that's when there were 300 gyms. So that's when I came on and I started making content for the journal. And by then the journal wasn't, it would still be sent out as a PDF every month. And you could either read the PDF as a file on your computer that you downloaded from an email you got, or you could print it out and take it to your gym. And that's kind of what Greg wanted. But we had started making videos for the journal, and the videos would be, we would go to an L1 and it would be Hobart teaching someone how to do the squat, and that part would be free. And then when Hobart would say, let me give you some pointers if you're having trouble fixing your squat, and that part would cost, then the video would cut off and only people who were journal subscribers could get that part. And then he would do like squat therapy with them. He'd put them up against a wall and they would squat with their hands up to make sure that, and try not to touch the wall or fall back. And so in that, what that was Greg wanted to make sure that we were constantly giving away free content that added value to people. That was his idea. And we published that stuff every single day. And the journal just kept building and building and building. And then this fucking idiot who worked there, who was head of our IT department. I'm sorry, honey. My wife told me to stop calling people idiots. I just can't help it. This guy who ran the IT department, who had, $30 million in the bank, was independently wealthy, had tons of fucking money, and he worked there with Greg. He's actually one of the people that helped start CrossFit because he actually helped get Greg a computer that Greg could start publishing to the web with. But this guy, when you have people who are already independently wealthy working in a company that's a startup, it's no bueno. They're the laziest piece of shit. And this guy was could go on about how bad he was, but so he talked Greg, him and Tony Budding talked Greg into making the journal free. 95% of the content in the journal was already free, and it made a couple $1 million a year. And they talked Greg into making it free because they believed in open source. Do you know? I don't know if you guys have ever seen the free newspapers or free magazines that are scattered all over the United States, but they have 1 or 2 articles in them, and the rest of them are selling cocaine, imitation cocaine, imitation marijuana, and blowjobs by any gender of your imagination. And that's what those things are full of. It's like the San Francisco blah, 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 or the Santa Cruz blah, blah, blah. And we had joined those ranks by giving away our shit for free. Anything that's worth anything is not free. And if people want to pay for stuff, you have to put, if something's going to have value, you have to put a value to it. It's like when Eckhart Tolle, for those of you who know who he is, when he used to go around and speak for free, he couldn't fill an auditorium. The second he started charging $200 a talk, sell out, 5,000 people auditoriums. There has to be some cost. And 95% of everything was free anyway. And not only that, this was just a small company. It was significant coin. Anyway, so eventually I became the head of the media department. And I built the paywall back. And there were some employees who were so upset that I built them the paywall back. But I built the paywall back. Let me remind you again and reiterate, 95% of the journal was still free. And I actually think it was 99%, but 95% was still free. And so the journal was free. I built the paywall up, and we started charging for the journal again. And in short time, it was making a couple $1 million a year. And we gave a year free to anyone who took their L1. And we wanted it to be free for all the affiliates, but we hadn't figured out a way to give them tokens for that yet. And anyway, it was building. And basically, my goal for making the journal cost money was Greg used to tell us that we're a media company. And so what I wanted to make sure is that the journal made enough money so that if anything ever happened, like a pandemic, like an imaginary pandemic, that the journal would be making enough money that the filmmakers and the journalists and all the people contributing to the journal didn't need to live off of CrossFit Inc. and be subsidized by it, but that the journal actually it made enough money to support all the people who work there, even though 95% of it was free. So what were we charging for in there? Game shit, the documentaries, the road to the games, the behind the scenes. That's the stuff we put back there to make money. But all the stuff that made people healthy was basically for free. I then had an OTT built. Does anyone know what that is? That's Apple TV. That's Amazon Fire. What's the other one? Starts with a K. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's basically those boxes that you hook up to your TV and you can watch stuff. Those people know what Apple TV is. And I had an OTT built. What is that? That's an app for CrossFit. I also had an app built for the phone. And basically the way the app worked for CrossFit is it was everything that we've ever published, more than 10,000 videos and articles you could watch on your TV set. This is about, it was completely done, set up. It was seamless. It was dope. This is about 3 months before the COVID crisis happened. And the dumb fuck CEO who was in charge at the time didn't let me launch it. So I have it on my TV. I still have it on my TV to this day. I have 5 or 6 other people have it, but he didn't let me launch it. Not only that, I solidified with Gravitas Films a contract that if that looked like over 5 years it was going to bring in $30 million. We were basically going to let anyone who had an OTT, whether it be like LG TV sets or there's like 30 OTTs in the world. And by the way, countries like Japan, 95% of all the content that's watched there is on OTT. So you wonder why CrossFit's not big there. Well, because we don't make anything for the OTT. Anyway, there's then they killed the idea. They didn't let me go forward with it. We spent the money, we built this thing, and then the pandemic happened and people were locked in their homes for 2 years. I'm trying to like condense the story. I know some of this might be a little bit of hyperbole, but I'm
would have been a great time to watch some journal content, don't you think? Damn, I would have loved that.
Dude, all of that shit that Greg wanted to do with fucking the old people squatting, it could have been just right on anyone's TV set. Like it.
Yeah, maybe not those videos, maybe not.
But for those people, you know what I'm saying. You wouldn't have watched those, but those were perfect for those people.
Yeah,
I mean, just anything. Anyway, so
that's the general idea.
And so basically, instead, what happened was the CEO at that time buried the journal. They wanted to get rid of everything that was made in the past, and they basically wanted to hit the reset button on it. And so to this day, and I have no idea what the current administration is doing the regime is doing by keeping it hidden, but basically to this day, that shit's basically hidden. And I mean, you can find it if you dig around on Google and the Wayback Machine and stuff like that. But that's and just so you know, that's one of the ways I met Matt Souza, the producer of the show and the owner of CrossFit Livermore, because he said to me, he said, "Hey, I'm gonna start a podcast." I said, "Oh, cool, that's awesome." And he goes, "You know what it's gonna be?" I said, "No." He goes, "I'm gonna read old Greg Glassman journal articles and then publish them. So instead, for people like me who don't want to read, they just want to listen to audiobooks." I'm like, "Fuck, that's awesome." And he's like, "Do I have to worry about stealing it?" I'm like, "Nah, fucking worry about it. If the lawyers contact you, just text me and I'll try to figure it out for you." Are those still up, Souza?
Yeah, and since you mentioned it the first time, I get updates and they actually got some traction again, which is pretty cool.
Where is it? How do people find those?
You could just Google search "What is Fitness" audio version, and that'll bring it up to the CrossFit Journal audio. And you could just search that there under that.
You're good, dude. Anyway, so where's the journal today? I've just basically told you the history of the journal. So that's the journal. The journal's just buried somewhere. It's a shame. I guarantee you 9 out of 10, and this is why the L1's so amazing. This is why Nicole Carroll's so amazing, Dave Castro, all the L1 trainers, Greg Glassman and stuff. You will meet people. I remember one of the first people I ever met did it. He was a physiology degree. He had a physiology degree, a kinesiology degree. He was the strength and conditioning coach at Tennessee Tech, where I met Rich. I want to remember his name. Do you remember that guy's name, Hobart? Rip, three-letter name.
Chip Pugh.
Chip Pugh. And I remember him telling me when I was there filming, I learned more in my 2 days at my L1, and I learned more from the CrossFit Journal than anything even close to what I learned at the 4 years that I went to college here. And I've heard that fucking 1,000 fucking times, no exaggeration. And it's like, you know what really sucks? You know, I'm going to tell you what really sucks, Hobart.
Hit me with it. I've been waiting for it.
I have all these people on my podcast, people I really like, and I invite them to come onto my podcast, and I go through their Instagram account. And I see the dumb shit they posted around the Black Lives Matter and the Greg Glassman incident and the falling of fucking his shit. And fuck you guys. You guys fucked yourself, and he's rich as fuck. But I see what you guys posted about him, and you're just fucking idiot drones who fucking have fallen asleep at the wheel and believe the hype. You fucking killed your Jesus. I could dig up you give me 10 minutes inside of one of your houses and I'll find something worse. Your husband watches fucking porn that fucking makes Greg Glassman look like a saint. And it just hurts me. It hurts me because I have these great people on my podcast, and they didn't need to do that. They didn't need to lash out at him like that. It was everything's fine. I'm glad everything happened the way it did. I'm happy. He's happy. The world's blah, blah, blah. The world's not happy. But like, man, you guys go back and erase that shit. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't have no idea. You have no idea what happened. That fucking dumb bitch up north, that affiliate owner, who's not even an affiliate when she said it, she accused him of being racist. And he stood up for himself. And now look at her gym. It's a segregationist gym. They got rainbow flags everywhere, but you can't train there unless you're vaccinated. Who's the fucking Nazi now?
Pull up the banner, Sousa. Pull it up. Thank you.
My neighbor has a gay flag up. I fucking love it. Every time I go by, I fucking give the dude a yeah, baby.
I know that's not. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Barbelljobs.com. Okay. Takeaway is coffee. Colin Lawrence. Colin, where you been? Can't just come in the middle of the show and talking shit, you hoe. Hey,
he's
Sevan's
right.
the
You
only
look
Jewish
pale.
guy I know is broke. And I ain't Jewish and I ain't broke. But I'm married a Jew. Okay, go ahead. I got a new coffee maker. The coffee's so fucking strong.
What'd you get for a coffee maker?
I got a Phillips. I'm slumming it.
But clearly it's working.
Yeah, you pour the beans.
You drinking Good Dudes?
Still drinking Good Dudes. Yeah, I made a video supporting Good Dudes today. I still pay for that expensive ass shit, but it's so strong. You pour the beans in the top. This one's gangster. It's $1,200 at Best Buy.
Oh, that's expensive. But I don't know. Is that expensive for coffee makers? I don't know.
Not when you ball. I mean, it's
more expensive than a Mr. Coffee.
If you're a poor Jew, it's expensive. But if you're a rich Armenian, it's fucking.
I think coffee tastes like crap. But everybody's been telling me you got to do the hand grind and the AeroPress. 175, 180 degrees, lower temp. That's what I'm told by the coffee aficionados.
They're lying. No one likes coffee. No one likes coffee. There
you go. Thank goodness. I'm so glad to hear that.
Oral sex is better than coffee.
Agreed.
How do you know you hate coffee?
But I've had
I would never ask Josh about a coffee machine.
He does the AeroPress.
I'm in
Maybe
rehab.
He does espresso.
I'm in rehab with my love for Turkish people. You watch it motocross, Mike. White trash motherfucker. Okay, sorry. Now I'm out of control.
Yeah. You got fired up there, man.
Yeah, it's just, man, we were on a roll. We were going to, we had taken CrossFit to the moon and we were getting ready to go to Mars.
Blue Origin.
Okay, Blue Origin. Let's go.
No, that was you.
Oh, yeah.
That was you.
Yeah.
Zillow, Seattle online real estate giant today, said it will shut down Zillow Offers, its iBuying program that aims to digitize and accelerate the home buying experience. Approximately 25%, or about 2,000 people, will be laid off as a result of Zillow's offers closing. The company will take a write-down of more than $500 million related to the shutdown. Zillow used algorithms to buy homes from their owners, make light repairs, and then put them back on the market. They set an ambitious goal to seeking to buy 5,000 homes a month by 2024. They noted that the labor shortage and supply chain issues that led to Zillow's decision earlier this month to temporarily pause purchasing new contracts to buy homes via Zillow Offers for the rest of the year. Also, Zillow was only able to convert 10% of serious sellers who asked for an offer via Zillow Offers. They believe that there are better, broader, less risky, more brand-aligned ways of enabling all of our customers who want to move. Before today, our seller offering was overly focused on Zillow Offers and was able to serve only a small number of the available customer set. Going forward, rather than having to buy a customer's home to help her sell, we are now simply going to help them move. We will expand our view and explore a marketplace of scalable selling solutions that give certainty, convenience, choice, simplicity, and speed, all while addressing the broader community for Zillow. Importantly, we now plan to focus our offerings on asset and capital light solutions with an open mind as we explore providing these solutions ourselves. They just made a dumb business decision and laid off a lot of people.
Did I understand that article correctly? Zillow was about to launch a program that would allow them to buy homes cheap, and then they were going to flip them, or they were going to get into the flipping business.
Yeah, it's about dead on.
Sorry, before I come back to that, I have a little concern, Sousa. Is the Emily Abbott podcast lost? How come so many people are having trouble finding it?
I don't know. Let me check it out. Let me see what I can.
No, it looks like it's going. I'm going to get in trouble for this. I know I'm going to get in trouble for this. Here we go, though. Fuck it. I don't care. I want to show you guys something.
Oh, boy.
Won't get you in trouble, Hobart. Don't worry. Just me.
Yeah, I mean.
Can you see it?
Can you guess that those are the first words I've said for the
Yeah.
is why are you doing this at
No,
7?
no.
Can you
like,
hear
I
it?
haven't heard any. Like, I
You're
get up.
You're not supposed
I
to
don't
hear it.
talk.
You're supposed to look at her. Can you
What?
hear it?
You muted it. I could hear it. Now it's gone.
Yeah,
It's muted
yeah.
now.
I muted her. You got to, because you don't want to hear us talk. You got to go listen to it. But just look at her. Doesn't she look cool as shit?
Yeah, she's got a good setup.
That's no way to
that's-
talk about a woman's body, Hobart.
That's
No,
fair.
that's despicable, buddy.
Cancel me.
Despicable. She is so cool.
She doesn't look as pale as I do.
Oh man, yeah, she's a redhead with the tan. She got your skin.
Steve.
Gosh. Hey, and I had to get off the podcast because I had to pee like I do now, and I had to take my kids to the skate park. It's always my kids. I think that every podcast should be 90 minutes, and then I get cool people, and I'm screwed.
All right. Well, I got 2 more stories we can end on,
Okay,
or one.
okay.
We can just end on this one
Okay,
because I
I
think
gotta
it'll
pee.
really piss you off, or maybe the Disney one. 2 more.
okay, I gotta pee. What can we do so I can pee? Can someone call and talk to Hobart? Okay, go Hobart.
No good or bad food. The American Heart Association released a new scientific statement on Tuesday that encourages everyone to focus on their overall dietary patterns, to take care of their tickers rather than zeroing in on foods, ingredients, and drinks that are good or bad for their hearts. They concede that adopting heart-healthy eating habits such as choosing the fish entree over the steak at a restaurant or opting for brown rice instead of fried white rice from your favorite Chinese takeout joint may feel strange at first. It might take a little planning, however. After the first few times, it can become routine. Balance food and calorie intake with physical activity to maintain a healthy weight. Choose a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, eat plenty of produce, get a full range of nutrients from food rather than from supplements. Choose whole grains and other foods made up of mostly whole grains, such as whole wheat, oatmeal, brown rice, and popcorn. Include healthy sources of lean and or high fiber proteins, such as plant proteins, nuts and legumes, fish or seafood, low fat or non-dairy, lean cuts of meat, and limit red and processed meats. Hold on.
Why non-fat? Why non-fat?
Causes heart disease.
Oh.
Read a book, man.
Oh.
Use liquid, non-tropical plant oils such as olive or sunflower oils. Choose minimally.
No.
Come on, I'm trying to help you out here.
No.
You'll like this one. Choose minimally processed foods such as a bag of salad, roasted or unsalted nuts, rather than ultra-processed foods such as sugary cereal, potato chips, or smoked sausage as much as possible. Minimize eating and drinking food and beverages with added sugars. Choose or prepare foods with little or no salt. Limit alcohol consumption. And if you don't drink, don't start. Apply this guidance no matter where food is prepared or consumed, such as whether you're at home, dining out, or ordering takeout.
I admire the fact you don't drink coffee.
No, I do drink coffee. I like caffeine. I just think it tastes like crap.
Oh.
Caffeine's addictive. That's how I know it's really addictive, because I still drink it, and I've never had a cup of coffee where I've thought to myself, oh, wow, this is really delicious.
I don't think it's addictive.
Okay. How do you define
Have you ever been addicted to something?
caffeine?
Yeah.
No, I've never really been addicted to any other substances.
What's interesting about caffeine is when I stop drinking caffeine, I get a headache, and so I guess that's a physical addiction. But when you quit cigarettes, when you quit nicotine, it's brutal, dude. It's brutal. It's like shakes, and it's.
Yeah, my mom said it was really, really, really bad.
Nicotine is so rough, dude. It's so rough. I mean, I don't the Abbott podcast under Sevan's videos, but when I pull up my YouTube history, I see the podcast. Look at Kimberly. Look at Selena Gomez is watching the show under a different name, Kimberly Rosales. That's awesome. It was a couple months. He didn't make it a year. That's true. Someone tried to quit coffee for a year and didn't succeed. That's true. That was hard too. That was hard to kind of face the facts on that.
Harder than nicotine?
No, I just mean like face the public. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was like, I pride myself in like, I'm doing this and I'm sticking to it, and like, eat a dick. But that one.
Do Do you think it was hard because of how prevalent it is, or like you were just at home by yourself and just really jonesing, or is it just the fact that everyone's like, let's go out for a coffee and just the social ritual around it?
No, that was I got that way around drinking, but drinking was so easy for me to stop. Um, Nicotine, it was just all physical. Like it was like physically just hard on me. And then the mental came later, like weeks later. But coffee was I don't know if I fucked myself up or what, but like I'm just happier when I'm on coffee.
Yeah.
I just my whole body, everything feels better. You can face the public in that idiotic vest.
Brutal. Oh man.
Hey, I haven't, Colin, just so you know, you sent me a text message the other day and I haven't opened it because you're like one of those people I want to like make sure I respond to you. And by the way, don't get all fucking excited either because I haven't put your name in my phone yet. So you still come in just as a phone number. So like just because you can text me, don't get all on your fucking high horse. You get that, Hobart? Like you ever do that? Like
I keep so many people on numbers.
Yeah, it's like I'm not ready. It's like I don't want to see you in your boxer shorts yet.
But sometimes it messes you up, right? Because then I'll need somebody to text me and I have to talk to them. I'm like, fuck, I don't remember whose number this is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
One more?
Yeah, please.
All right, here we go. So I got pizza.
Oh, Mehmet, I want to say something. Like, so this guy's helping me with, this guy's Turkish, Hobart, and he's helping me with my racism towards Turkish people because of the way I was raised to dislike Turkish people because of the conflict between Armenians. And Mehmet is like, he's part of my recovery plan. Do you feel Mehmet meet Hobart, Hobart meet Mehmet? Do you feel better with any? You're a good dude, Hobart. Do you feel better with any coffee, or it has to be good, dude? So look, that's so interesting. So I have this coffee. It's called Strong Coffee. I had the owner of the CEO and founder of the show on my podcast, and he makes a drink that does not. It's a latte drink, and it does not fit in the food profile of what I preach. So I don't talk about it very often, but I do have it as a treat once in a while, and I have it with whole milk. When my coffee maker broke, I didn't have a coffee maker for a day. I substituted all the coffee I drink all day with this Strong Coffee, this brand called Strong Coffee. And that day I got a headache, which means that whatever's in the strong coffee, the Strong Coffee, what's cool about it is it gives you a zing, but you're not all weird and freaky and like jittery like I am now, like a freak, like regular coffee does. The Strong Coffee just makes you kind of alert, and you're just like, you're just chill though. And whatever's in it, I got a headache. So I don't know if it has to be good dudes, but I need like real brewed coffee. I'm in that addiction dependency zone. That's why I don't text Sevan. I'm afraid of rejection. I fully get it. Jeffrey, no, don't inflate his ego. What did Jeffrey say? Love the checkered collared shirt. Dude, I'm balling. I should have looked. This is a Filson vest wool.
Do you have pants on?
Too fitty probably. I have pants on. I have Lululemons on. Nice. I think I have nice Lululemon pants on.
Is that a $500 outfit?
And yeah, the glasses are fucking $3,000. These are legitimate silver, refurbished like from the day.
Like the bottom of the ocean.
Fuck Jeffrey. Now you done.
From a Spanish
and this
galleon.
shirt, I can't remember what brand it is, but it's something from like the most expensive shirt I could find. Like it's some fucking bourgeois Soho fucking place I went into one time. I used to have a sugar daddy, like you guys wouldn't believe. One day I'm gonna tell you about the time I did like an 8-hour shopping spree at the Nordstrom's in Hawaii because I got there and my luggage didn't arrive. And I was with my sugar daddy, and he's like, "Hey, let's just go to Nordy's and just buy anything you want." I bought this Armani suit I never wear. I got everything, all new underwear, shirts, pants, shoes. It just nuts. Okay, damn you, Jeffrey. 100 burpees. Best Turkish coffee I had was in Armenian Court, of course. Best Armenian girl I've ever had was Turkish. Okay, let's go. Come on.
There we go. Final story. Disney lockdown. More than 30,000 visitors.
Thank God. Thank God.
I have to go pee too. Should we just let Susan talk to this guy?
I'll talk. You go pee and I'll talk to him first, and then I'll go pee and you talk to him.
You go pee. I'll talk. All right, perfect.
Hey, this guy's name is Huberty.
What is it?
This guy's name is Huberty, but like where a P should
Heber
be.
that's pronounced Heber.
Like you're gonna go pee. Brian, what's up? What's up with your last name, brother?
I've had it for 44 years, and I was in the Army. And I used to wear like a name tag, and people would say they would look at it and kind of smirk.
Yes.
But you learn to deal with that, so it's fun. But yeah, a lot of times I'll say it's like puberty with an H, and so if over the phone somebody wants to know how to spell my name, that's how I just present it.
I like that. Brian, I was watching so Canelo Alvarez is going to fight Caleb Plant next Saturday, November 6th. And so I was watching like this little documentary on the fight to the buildup of the fight. And Canelo has red hair. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
Okay. And so they're like, how did you get into fighting? He goes, I was a fucking redheaded Mexican, basically.
Yeah.
He's like, that's
it
how I got into
you
fighting.
up, man. Like
I was like, shit, Hubert, he must fight like a motherfucker.
I was a fighting kid. I wrestled all growing up. You got to be tough, man.
Does your dad tell you, hey, you're going to be fighting a lot?
My dad, my mom, the whole time. It's, it's like a boy named Sue, like the Johnny Cash song. Like you gotta be tough with a name like Sue.
His name's really Huberty?
Yeah. Or Brian, it's like being born onto a planet where there's already a racist term waiting for you that you're born that you're supposed to be offended by and to fight and kill anyone who calls you it. Can you imagine that?
What is that word? I don't know.
An imaginary word. Just imagine. Just use your imagination. Imagine you were born.
I knew you were going to take this great moment of humor and just ruin it completely.
Sorry. Okay. What's up, Brian? How are you?
I'm good, man. I got to tell you, I'm OG. I've been around CrossFit since 2006. I remember almost. Oh, my car's backing up, so I'm sorry. I'm just gonna stop beeping.
I hope you're in.
But I watched all. Yeah, I am. I watched all your videos for like 10 years, right? So I love the podcast, listening to it. I remember
I don't like
James
where this
Hobart.
is going. I don't know. I don't like where this is going.
Why not?
I like it a lot.
Because I think there's going to be a but. I'm an insecure
Hopefully.
little fucking
No,
midget.
but here's what I want.
What?
Here's an OG guy asking for you to go back to like the OG folks. Like I would love to hear from some, like you were talking about Eva T. And maybe only like 3 people care about this, but I want like James Fitzgerald and some people that have axes to grind with CrossFit and shit.
Give me OPT. Souza, hold on. Souza, come get your ass on here.
Yeah.
Hey, can we get OPT?
Yeah. I'll reach out to him.
Let's get him. Yeah. That's
Greg Amundsen.
Brian, I swear Souza's on thin ice. You want to produce the show?
I tell you, I went to one of OPT's things 10 years ago. I went to a Big Dogs Bash, and it was a 2-day event. And I thought, man, these guys are batshit crazy, and I got out of there. But I think he's probably a good guest. And there's like Greg Amundsen. I went to one of his things years ago. Like he's a character. Like there's some interesting people that, especially now that the leadership has changed, and the world is a different place. Like I would love to hear what some of these people have to say.
Dig some of these dudes up from the grave. Amundsen's amazing, and his body, man. That guy lives by me, and so I see him. I swear to God, this is a true story. I'll be driving down 41st Street at least, I feel like once a month, and I'll see a dude running in like shorts that are like a little too short, like the kind I like soccer shorts, like way above the knee, right? And a pair of tennis shoes and no shirt, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then I always drive by him real slow, and I look out my window, and it's fucking always Greg. And then I roll down my window and honk, Greg, like I get all excited. He's a beast.
Oh yeah, and then you got like Alex and NYC, some real.
Oh yeah. I'll have her and Brendan on. I'm still in contact with them. Yep, Allison.
And I don't know, like nobody else probably cares about this shit, but I love it.
Everyone cares about Allison. There's everyone cares about Allison unless you're fucking brain dead.
So that's my one request. I guess the other is I also grew up as a Stern listener, so I know when you're doing the news, like you're doing like Howard and Jackie and stuff. You got to make a whack
Jackie
pack.
was a little before my time. Jackie was a little before my time. But
Jackie the Joke Man.
Yeah, I started listening to Stern after that. But yeah, for sure, this whole entire news show is stolen from Stern. I tried to get a lesbian, black, Jewish midget woman to but I ended up with Hobart, and
Close.
Close. But I actually text Hobart today, Brian, and I was like, "Hey, I want to do a game show."
Well, like Howard did Homeless Hollywood Squares. That was so you could take some of these high level CrossFitters and then like ask them like, hey, who is the Secretary of Defense, and make them just sound like Howard would, ask strippers who the vice president was, and they wouldn't know. Like they bet on $100 if they know who the vice president is. And of course, they don't know who the vice president is.
I would just have Laura. I would just have Laura Horvat on and just and just ask her to say like 4 or 5 syllable words in English, and then we have to guess what she's saying.
Right. Or they would make Beetlejuice spell, cat, and he couldn't spell cat. That's the stuff I grew up on, and now I'm a mean-spirited person because of it. But that's time when we listen to Howard Stern.
Allison has a whole new life, loving it. Yeah, you know what I think she's doing? Is it fans only? She basically had, or Patreon. She has some account where it's only private. What is it? Do you know, Sousa? Is it fans only? Patreon. She has some account, and basically you can subscribe to it, and you get footage of her that no one else gets to see, and it's not nude. It's not nude at all. There's no nudity. But I mean, you see the stuff she does. She's in a bathing suit, like doing handstand presses and shit, and like she's always like laying around like breastfeeding a baby or something. And so that
was salacious back in the day, though. Like you would do a video of her, and then people on the comments board would be like, "What is this? What is happening to CrossFit?"
Yeah. Hey, I'm so proud of myself today. Like I did I think I've finally like settled down. I did a podcast with Emily Abbott, and I find her like so freaking attractive and like is such a powerful woman. And yet I didn't see her as a woman at all today. I mean, I saw her as a woman, but like I was cool. Like I was just like, it's just.
Oh, you played it cool?
Yeah, it was. I played it cool. I didn't even get riled up once. Like I was
an adult.
Like, yeah, Hobart, please, can you choose a different word? I just have never really experienced that before. Like ever since I turned like, I don't know, 5 or 6, it's just weird with me and girls. I just just always get excited, and I was chill. And fuck, man, there's something to get excited about her. But it was cool. I've really matured, or I'm getting old as fuck, and I'm losing my cheese drained out of me.
And I think that's what happened to Stern too. Is that it's not the same show?
He's a pussy. I am not a pussy.
He's a good interviewer though, and I think he improved, and I think you're improving. So I'm enjoying the ride, and I just wanted to call in and say, get some, like, again, you'll get like 300 views versus Danielle Brandon getting a lot, but throw me
go ahead,
like a Josh Everett or some of the old school guys. That would be fun.
I actually thought about it when I was watching the Rogue Classic. I thought, okay, I should invite Josh Everett.
I think there's a lot there to talk about, just longevity of a lifestyle of like fitness and health. I think
for sure,
it's way more interesting than you might think, even if the personality's not.
It's interesting.
Relevant,
I've been doing it for 15 years.
Yeah,
it's interesting to me hearing about the guys that have been. Been doing it a long time. Like I haven't missed too many days of CrossFit in 15 years, been healthy and competed at a bunch of levels, and it's still fun. So I'd love to hear from those guys.
And you've probably ridden all the waves of it, right? Like you followed all the fads, the strength bias, the unbroken, the OPT, the whatever. And
I did all of it, saw them all, and but still kind of do it because it's fun. Have an affiliate, CrossFit Oakdale, because it's fun and we love doing it. And but yeah, you see it all, and so the history of it is still like it's great, and it's like unfortunately like it'll be forgotten because I don't know if you can find those videos, and they're a little bit harder, but those guys lived it. I do have one more question, and I'll let it go. So old videos. My kids got into skating 2 years ago, and then I started watching like Zero skate videos and stuff, and it really like reminded me of the old CrossFit videos of skateboard videos. Like, was there a crossover between the two? Was there anybody there that was like, hey, this is what skate videos are like, let's do that? Or was it even that well thought out?
So who is shooting those early videos, like the early
Was
workout
it like
videos?
Hollis and Tony Budding? Or?
What year?
Ripper, they have like Ripper rock music in them, and like the ones with like Brendan Gilliam and like
those. I think those
Zach
are all
Pine.
Tony. Those are Tony.
Rob Miller's videos, like
Yeah.
he had like really light blonde hair, and he would do like, there was like cool music.
Yep. Zero Dying to Live. I don't know what that means. Is that a song? But yeah, that was all Tony. It was all Tony.
Dying to
Tony.
Live was badass, man. Just guys bombing down rails to like sweet music. Yep.
That's the only reason I started wearing board shorts was I saw CrossFit, and because it was all coming out of Cali, and all those guys were wearing board shorts and shit, and so that's what I started wearing.
And then taking your shoes off at the gym, board shorts and no shoes. I just wanted to look like Greg.
Yeah. And how about Brendan Gillian with his flat bill? He was so gangster.
Yeah, and he was ripped.
I've never seen I lived in New York City at the time, and I'd never seen a dude like that before with a flat brim and tattoos. I'm like, what is this?
Yep.
But out here, I live out in California, and that's the way it is. Like,
that's
cool,
so funny.
different.
I had Annie Sakamoto on the other day, and I'm gonna tell you, I started the podcast basically by saying to her, "Hey, like we've basically known each other for 15 years and we've never talked." And there were a bunch of people like that at CrossFit. Like we're just in the same circle, same town, same room, same everything, and we just never talk. Like just never had a real talk. And it was crazy having her on the podcast. It was so fun. It was cool. And it's fun because we want to say some pretty heavy shit, but we kind of dance around it a little bit. But we still kept it real. But like, but
we did. I did
stuff.
regionals a couple times, and we would camp next to her family, and like we would like sit next to them, and like so our we would like hang out like the old regional days when it was like before it got crazy. It was fun. So
like
we
the
the
Northern California one, like up in Napa.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was Napa that we were hanging out there, and then a couple of years in Santa Clara, we did that, and like there's like that community of folks. So I got to meet those. So like I was watching it from New York City originally, and then came out there and got to meet a lot of the folks from those videos, but I don't think we ever met.
Hobart, what did you say? Amundsen got you into CrossFit?
Yeah, I think I told that story here. That was I think somebody mentioned Pavel too on here, which was really interesting. But Pavel, Jim Jones, Mark Twain. Yeah, that's how I found my way to CrossFit. And at first wasn't a fan, but I saw a video of Greg Amundsen doing heavy Fran, and I was like, I was all 100,000% in.
Is that dude Pavel still alive?
Yeah.
He was on Rogan a couple of years ago. He's a kettlebell. Pavel Sulin. You could probably get him.
I wanted to talk about that, you fucking assholes. The shit you guys write to me. It's always like, I can't believe you got Haley Adams. You should get Jordan Peterson. I'm like, who the fuck are these people writing this shit? Okay. Did you ever film with a VX1000? Yes. Sony. Yeah. No. I had a PD 150. I was not when the VX1000 was big. I couldn't afford a VX1000. I had the one below it, and then I jumped over it to a PDF 150. PDF 150. Hey Brian, Mr. Huberty.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling. It was going to be scary if we went 2 hours and 17 minutes without a call. It was going to be like one of those internet shows that.
I didn't know. I was just getting on the end, but like I said, if you need any whack packers, I could do high pitch Eric. That's one of my maybe some Sal and Richard crank calls.
Can you really do high pitch Eric?
Who's high pitch? Yeah, of course. Come on.
Wow. How about
that's going to be.
How about the crazy guy that lived in his mom's basement that thought like Stern was part of the Illuminati? What happened to that guy?
Was that Sasquatch or Bigfoot?
No, it was like Mehmet or something.
I don't remember him. How about she would screech, like she was from Brooklyn. She was from my neighborhood in Brooklyn too.
I can't stand her. Marianne. Any of the yelling ones I didn't like. I didn't like any of the yelling ones.
Underdog lady. Yeah, you should think about making a really weird group of people that could be your hangers on.
Well, the show just keeps growing. The show just keeps growing. So we're on a tear. So if who knows what'll happen. All I need is Jordan Peterson.
Well, I'll keep listening.
He's
good.
coming in soon.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson's coming in soon.
All right, you guys have a good evening.
Thanks. Bye. Thank you, Brian, for giving us two. That was 2 pee breaks we got out of him.
I needed it so bad.
Uh,
All right, final story. Here we go. From the Hollywood.
Is this real?
I don't know. I found it was originally a Wall Street Journal article. You gotta be kidding me. It's better be my mom. It's better be my mom.
Mrs. Hobart. Hi.
Hey, Sevan, it's Peter.
Oh, nope. Sorry, James. Hey, Peter, what's up? You're not with James's mom, are you?
No, I'm not, but I want to say thanks to James for hooking me up with Megan Burns.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the Phoenix. She's the Phoenix?
Program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a call with her, and that went great. Anyways, I was just listening to the last guy call, and then he reminded me, like, Eva T, she got me into CrossFit, watching her do, like, Nasty Girl videos and stuff like that back in the day. And her and Annie and all those guys, all those videos. Do you know, like, how Eva T's doing since her plane crash?
Can you lower your computer, your YouTube or your poop tube or whatever?
Oh, sorry, is it coming through?
Pornhub or whatever. Yeah. So basically, if you want to, I had Annie on the show last week, Annie Sakamoto, or 2 weeks ago, last week. And basically, we talked about Eva T. And basically, she got into a car accident. She basically cartwheeled her plane
crash.
She cartwheeled her plane on a runway just south of me, close to Dave's house, actually, I think, Dave Castro.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the injury was super bad, that basically no one thought she was basically going to come back from it, that she had some serious cranial damage, that basically, and from what I heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, like a piece of her scalp was like in a freezer, or a piece of her skull, or it was sewed into her stomach to keep it alive, or some crazy shit like that. But it was bad. And it looked like, from what I was seeing on Annie Sakamoto's Instagram, that she was staying close to Eva and communicating with her. And then when I had Annie on the show, she's like, holy shit. And I go, basically, this is me paraphrasing. I hope Annie doesn't hate me for saying this if it's wrong. But basically, in a 9-month period, it went from fucking Eva being fucking a vegetable to fucking being a human. Like, all of a sudden being able to talk, communicate, articulate, and you ready for this? Work out. I think Annie said she got a 200-pound deadlift now. So,
I saw that she had gone skiing or whatever on Facebook. And,
nuts.
But I haven't been able to see it. Like, there were some reports about it when it first happened, but I haven't heard anything about it. And like, I always really liked her and all the OG people. I was just wondering, like, if she was okay or not. That's awesome to hear.
That's good. My wife just texted me something. I don't really understand what it means. I don't know if I should read it out loud. Someone else will know what it means, and I won't. No, don't. Is that you waving me off, Hobart? Don't read my wife's text out loud if I don't know what it means. Okay. Hey, well, thanks for calling, Peter. I'm glad that you were able to deal with your drug. Hobart was able to get you off of cocaine. That's good. That's good.
Peter, good luck to you, man. Appreciate you calling in.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Love the show.
Peace. Hey, who is that guy who called before? Brian Huberty? Yeah, that one. Like, I can't tell if I like him or not. I
liked him.
Yeah, I like him, but I can't tell if I like the like. I don't like anyone calling and talking about Howard Stern, because because I'm just stealing so much from him.
And you don't like him anymore?
No, I don't. He's such a
fear
mongering. He's just full of hate. He's just fear mongering.
More than 30,000 visitors to Shanghai Disneyland were forced to stay within the park on Sunday and required to take a COVID-19 test to gain their liberty from the Magic Kingdom after a single guest tested positive for COVID-19. Funny. Same thing happened to the entire population.
Is this Canada? Is this Canada?
No, it's Shanghai, China.
Shanghai, Australia?
The draconian response is a vivid illustration of China's ongoing COVID-0 approach to the pandemic, a policy that has sparked growing unrest in the country as the
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, lay it on me.
So the theory from all of these fucking right-wing Trump-loving wingnuts is that they're doing this to get control over people. I always keep hearing that. Like they're doing it to get control. They're doing it to get control. And like that it's some like thought out plan. Okay. I mean, it's so hard for me to get my head wrapped around it, but I've just been like, okay, I hear you. I'm just too stupid to see it. I mean, I just think it's just people trying to make money and like people being scared of dying because there's so many fucking overweight fuckers around. But they say it's like some sort of plan to take control and this and that and this. Why would China need to do this? What the fuck do they care? They already got control. Why are they playing this game?
Well,
They have no. You like that, Susan? Huh? I flipped the script. Why? That? I'm not trying to sleep with my wife. I already made 3 kids with her. I could sleep with her whenever I want. Why is China trying to? I'll just quit the podcast right now and go in there right now and just shut the bedroom door and get on my wife. What? Same thing with China.
Bet you won't.
Bet I will. China will go into they'll tell 20 million of their people to fucking stand on each other's shoulders and make a pyramid, and those people will do it. Why is China playing this finger fuck if they already got control over everybody? They don't need it.
Maybe it's an actual threat.
No. What do they care, Christine, if 20 million of them die? They got 20 million of them locked up in some jail somewhere trying to convert them. It's weird. It's weird. China doesn't need to play this game. God, I haven't used that term finger fuck like since the 3rd grade. That felt good. Dipping into my shit. I'm feeling my own.
We can go for 2 hours. Can I finish the story?
Okay, sorry. Okay, go.
This might give you the answer to your question. China has vaccinated over 80% of its population, and the strict COVID-0 approach has helped the country keep fatalities to under 5,000 since the start of the pandemic, compared to nearly 750,000 fatalities in the U.S. Hold on.
Wait a second.
Hold on.
Wait a second. You're telling me this country that has over a fucking billion people, for those of you who don't understand that, I've been to a country with 1 billion people. You cannot even imagine the things that they can do. Like India is fascinating. And I've been to China. You're telling me they've only had 5,000 deaths? That's and we've had 750,000 with 350 million people. It's either... Well, something's not right. That story, that something in there is not true.
I'm just reporting.
We have either not had 750,000 COVID deaths, or they have not had only 5,000. It is impossible. Or I'll give you C. What is going to happen is that they're going to have us like what's going to happen in Australia and New Zealand. Sooner or later, they're not going to be able to keep the people locked down. And the shit's going to spread like wildfire. Okay, go on. Sorry.
The strategy has left China increasingly isolated. However, as nearly all travel in and out of the country is suspended, and face-to-face diplomacy on the part of Beijing's top leaders remains on hold, China is the only country in the world still attempting total eradication of the virus. And there are growing questions over how the nation will transition from the strategy of COVID-19 as COVID-19 becomes endemic nearly everywhere else in the world.
Another lie. The only country trying total eradication?
Local authorities have asked all guests who visited Shanghai Disneyland last weekend to isolate for 2 days and to submit to tests several more times over the next 2 weeks. Shanghai Disneyland said it would provide refunds and notify customers as soon as the park is fully operational again.
Oh my God. They lost their mind. Something's not right. I mean, the story's just...
I think it begs a little more research. I agree.
I love it's in a rag that has the word Hollywood in it.
This was also in the Wall Street Journal. Anyway.
Oh, let's see. I got a text from this. Man, this slapping shit, this people being slapped across the face is really just like taking off. Like I see
like those competitions, or just people like doing it as like they just run up and like mug them with it.
Oh, wow. You've seen that version where they just run up and mug you with it?
Well, I know that was a thing for a while. There was like you would just run around and just like punch somebody.
Oh, man. Let me see if I can show you what someone just sent me.
Well, be careful.
Careful
what you share. I don't know. Okay, oh, yeah, this is the...
yeah. Kaboom!
These competitions are amazing. Oh, Look at his neck snap back and forth.
Is that bad for you?
No, it's probably pretty good.
Oh my God, that guy slaps like a.
Look at him turn his whole body into it. That's insane. No more.
Oh,
he
that
just
was
blew
a
out
punch.
his eardrum.
And what is that with that guy's arm?
He says he hit him with his forearm. That guy's dead. This guy's dead. Vasily.
Oh my goodness, that was a karate chop to the neck.
He missed.
Oh my goodness. Okay, now.
Okay, he just took that.
This
is heinous.
I love that phrase. He just took that.
He just took it. All right, that's a good way to end. My mom still does listen to this show, Colin. It just takes her a couple days.
Oh, this is heinous. I agree. I don't know if I enjoyed that either. That's just because we're old. Christine, are you old? How old are you? That's the stuff I used to like when I was a kid. It's also kids doing it to teachers in schools for TikTok views. What? Hey, what if your kid did something like that? They took the kid and they put him. They went and found the kid's parents, and then basically like you do something like electrocute the kid's parents' genitalia right in front of the kid and be
No,
like,
I think
hey,
you have to make the kid go slap the parents.
Oh, maybe. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a little more civilized and just than electrocuting their genitalia. It's a good show. Word of the day, heinous. What do you think? What do you think? This was without. I seriously thought Kate would jump on.
No, man. I think she adds a lot. I'm excited to have her back. I'm excited to do the game show. I'm excited to talk to you more about equality and gender. Had some thoughts that we didn't get to cover at the beginning of the podcast, but
yeah, that'd be nice. I'm open to being fixed on it. I'm open to being like someone telling me like, hey, you know, there's a third one. There's people with penises and vaginas, and telling me that it's 0.0000000000001% of the population.
Yeah.
I have a long list of unanswered questions, Sevan. Going to have to send some money, or switch to a different podcast. You know who she reminds me of? Who's the lady who went to jail, who cooks food and stuff?
Martha Stewart.
Yeah, it's Martha Stewart.
That's how I learned how to cook.
Serious?
Yeah, her website was amazing. It had this series of like eggs 101 or whatever one. It had all these 101 series, and it would like give you this essentially really solid foundational cooking knowledge. She's a beast, man. I'm pretty sure she basically, I don't know, like stole from her company, and she's out free just living the best life. Friends with Snoop Dogg.
I like her because she just owned it. And it was at the same time that like Tiger Woods cheated on his wife or something, and instead of just saying, yeah, I did that shit and I enjoyed it, like he made that stupid Nike ad, or he said like, yeah, just like, I just liked her because she owned her shit. You know what I mean? She didn't pull a Bill Clinton. My fiance is mad at you, Sevan, because she can't listen to any of her other pods anymore because she's addicted to yours. She wanted to listen to Brooks' pod, but she can't get a day off from the Sevan. What's the Brooks pod? My wife can't get a day off either.
Oh man, you're so lucky.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.